Grab yourself a seat and keep those hands in the vehicle at all times. You're about to be taken on a ride through the untamed wilds of internet role-playing. Observe them in their natural habitat.
Okay, please don't fight each other. You're too important to die.
Enjoy the splendor of their spurgery.
Okay, you know what? Fuck this, no.
And feast your eyes upon the questionable creations of internet randoms.
Actually, I've never DM'd before.
This is the Supernova Safari.
Hey, and welcome to Supernova Safari. I'm Blake, joined by Noah.
People like grape soda? That's so fucking clever.
Liam.
I'm looking to arm wrestle someone.
And Ben.
You must answer my riddles 3 to get in this boy's hole.
And speaking of riddles, do I have one for you as we get into episode 3, where there's smoke, bottoms up.
Holy shit.
Okay,
yeah,
but
thumbnail guy really pulling up like a slow one on the clever title on the episode 3. Bottoms up.
I actually wanted to start off with a discussion on something slightly different from the actual start of the episode.
Excellent. Good curveball right away. Let's go.
I know we touched on it last time, but I want to have a deeper discussion on what the fuck Crow's intro is.
Yeah, that's fair.
We hear it every time, and it's only going to keep happening, and it doesn't change ever.
No, it changes at one point.
Season 2, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember when exactly.
But no, as our resident lore expert, how do you feel about Mistral being a place to go to make empires?
I don't really. I think it would be mean to say I don't understand what they were going for, but it definitely feels like whoever was writing this was really treading water on trying to figure out how to describe things. There's a lot of vague alluding to things and people saying stuff about oh man, this place is so spooky. But at the end of the day, I just don't really buy it, right? I don't know. Would anyone like to hop in on this one as well to kind of get in on this? Because there's something about this intro that feels off to me.
Well, I have to say that... Well, first, I mean, we just have to say, whoever's doing Crow's voice...
Chef's kiss!
Come on, dude. This is awful.
It's...
But there's one worse, and we'll get to that later. However, I kind of get what they mean, where it's vacuo is where you just go to fuck off from the world. Oh, dude, yeah. I said fuck, but but Mistral is a place where you go to build empires. Is a little
nonsensical.
It's a little. It almost feels too dramatic in a way. I know that's kind of lame to say because that's kind of the point of the thing, the intro. Mm-hmm. But really, is there no other way to build an empire but going to Mistral? I guess they're implying it's the easiest place. But later on,
the idea is Mistral's this lawless place filled with bandits and shit, right?
Which is really
empire
strange.
Is the wrong word.
Criminal empire? Maybe. But it is very strange that there's been this weird decision. And they did this in the show as time went on, kind of. And in the history of Remnant, or this whatever the series is, I forget what it's called, they alluded to Mistral being a criminal hub. And myself, obviously, I took some influence for that with some features of it, because a Japanese aesthetic setting by default, but there's other influences obviously there too. You want fun criminal Yakuza stuff. I understand that, but they took this very weird generic there's bandits here in this country. you gotta look out for the fucking Skyrim encounters jumping out of the bushes.
Yeah, it just seems so fucking boring, and like there's like no thought. Where it's like, at least from what little we know of like how you're doing it, not to jerk you off too much, it's like it seems to be a little bit more intriguing in like that the criminal stuff isn't like just out in the open. Where where it's like what like you'd expect. It's like you don't say that about like Vacuo because it's like who gives a fuck? There's like barely any law.
Well, this is the point I wanted to talk about. It's like in the initial show, they showed no sort of interesting culture for these bandits because it seems like a fixture. It doesn't seem like when people talk about it, bandits in Mistral, it seems like a surprise. So you assume for them to be so prevalent, there'd be more of like an interesting culture around them. But really, all it was strong survive, blah, 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 blah. And it really kind of makes you feel like they're getting redundant because Vacuo's lawless nature was, I kind of thought, its big hook, and they kind of stole that away from it and put it in Mistral, and ended up making Vacuo appear to be this weird, like, ANCAP paradise of, like, dude, it's cool because there's no laws. And it's like, I don't know, guys. Like, isn't it supposed to be? Isn't what your pitch is that's like the Wild West? Why isn't the criminal empire trying to go to Vacuo? Is it because Mistral's actually that easy? Like, you'd expect someone would have gotten a bigger, like, organization that controls it by now. And more people would be interested in going to the Lawless Nation. But I guess that's just something Vacuo lost. I don't know.
It's just really fucked up.
It's really weird.
Strange choice.
It's very strange. And to talk about the entity of Mistral as a place to go for criminal activity, considering Mistral is probably the largest single nation in RWBY, I believe, if we're looking at landmass. I think Sanus is probably bigger, but it's split by 2 nations, obviously. The idea that it's just kind of a shithole is really startling to me. You thought Mistral, you'd think Mistral would be like a big entity and be like more impressive, but no, it really seems very underdeveloped in what we've seen in the show and how they act around it. And Kuchinashi is just like an absolute shit sty, and there's so much like expected lawlessness. We'll get into it in episode 4, and there's a really interesting thing said there that just makes it really harrowing sounding. And I just have to ask, did they stumble into this and just realize you have to go down this path, or are they even cognizant of like how awful they make Mistral sound as an entire place? I don't know. It's just really kind of shockingly like grim. So I guess that's why it's called the Grimm Campaign. So hey, in the words of the thumbnail, bottoms up, good work, you've sold me. This is a shithole. Yeah, do we want to kind of get into the episode now, or anything else on the intro bit?
I think I'm good. I just wanted to bring it up as a topic of discussion.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have more to say on...
I'm sure when it swaps to the second take, because that's what it is.
when the world breaks in and freezes time and stops Crow from talking, we'll have more variation.
One last comment on the intro, but on something before we start talking about the actual meat of the episode. I in fact was blown out right away. I apologize. Carrie did put on a different hat.
He did.
I just thought he didn't.
That's awesome.
Actually embarrassing.
Will I ever recover? Am I a fake fan?
Yeah. I wanted to say, Mr. Kokinos doing the recap. Hilarious. He literally calls the defense force of Kuchinashi, which, to be fair, Eddie didn't really name, castle guards.
Yes,
and, like, they're just Skyrim guards.
Awesome castle guards.
And
damn, I love D&D.
And then he wants to go and then later he wants to go to the inn. So, we're playing...
I have so much to talk about with Chris's attitude in these 2 episodes. I had forgotten about this whole little thing. I remember this. I had forgotten the details, but I remember mentioning in the last episode that Chris gets stuffed on his entire plot stuff he wants to do, and we'll cover that more in episode 4.
Oh yeah.
But this is the start of it, I feel like. Also, he just basically keeps going in the episode recap and asks for a little more detail at the end, and he just basically is like, "Yeah, Roster wanted to fuck Buck. Is that what you wanted, Eddie?" and the recap kind of awkwardly ends.
Yeah, and nothing happened last episode. He's literally said it in 2 sentences. He said
He literally
we saw some bugs, and then the guards came out.
Ooh,
Yeah,
some weird bugs.
It was a pretty good recap, all things considered.
There's some weird
and then
bugs.
Eddie shit on him.
And then Eddie shit on him. Yeah, it's like, sorry, Eddie, that you had a very simple episode last time.
Man, I like how the Grimm are acting all weird, except someone just dismisses that pretty quickly.
Eddie is so insistent on this having been a bigger deal than he made it seem. And I can only assume it's because the players at the time either A, didn't pay enough attention, or B, were trying to ignore it because they thought it was like a slip-up by Eddie.
No, I watched. Eddie's stupid. It's his fault.
It's his
but
fault.
Getting into the start, does anyone want to... Liam, do you want to go over the riddle?
Well, are we not going to mention that they brought up the Remnant equivalent of TikToks? All laughed and then went, "What they be called?" And then there's a long pause, and Carrie went, "TikToks." But spelled
But it's spelled funny.
My notes here say TikTok. Carrie, ladies and gentlemen.
Carrie is a genius from the man who brought you such winning humor as Heiko's.
No. Remember, Chad goes, "Wait, what is the social media equivalent?"
Yeah,
that is a lead into it, and there's like, "Oh, it's just TikTok." Spells actually, it's a clocks.
Like, are you really not gonna try and put some thought into this? Like, I know sometimes I've hand waved and been like, "Yeah, there's an equivalent in the world like that," but like, I don't know. I don't actually think Remnant would have a social media platform, right?
No,
just from how communication on Remnant.
The whole internet fucking just
Yeah.
Wait, no. We definitely have social media. Remember, because there's like a group of like there's a group that stalks Viridian and posts him online.
I know, but I don't think it would have the equivalent difference. I think it would be a localized thing always from nation to nation. Like, the internet functions on Remnant is like a really fun topic to actually imagine getting into, because there is some limitation on how it's supposed to work with cross-continental like transfer of data and stuff. And there's like, I mean, I'm probably going to get into this at some point. There's something to be said of like this angle of like, hey, is it kind of fucked up how the government probably has access to everything we say online if it goes cross-continental through the towers? Like, there's interesting stuff to discuss there. But the brainiacs behind the project are just here talking about TikTok, and they can't even come up with a funny fucking name for their own joke version of it. And it just makes you sad, right?
Oh, there's a lot that made me sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get into...
I need to get into something. This confused me, and I want y'all's opinion on this. But we need to get into the riddle, because...
Please.
No, here's the thing. Let's start this off with, Eddie goes... It was during the recap. He says something along the lines of like, "Oh yeah, what were we doing?" And he goes, "Yeah, there was a riddle, Eddie." And he goes, "Oh yeah, the riddle." And then, God, the riddle is so fucking bad.
Can I? Yeah. Oh my fucking God!
It is so bad.
So I have it written down. I might have gotten it wrong. I don't know, because it doesn't make sense to me. It's I have no life but cannot die.
What am I?
Yeah, yes, but here's the thing. Does anyone fucking understand why showing your Huntsman's license?
The answer is
Here's the thing.
What is it?
I don't think that's not the answer. I think she rolled, got a 16, and he's like, "Alright, you solved the riddle."
Hold on.
I'm not going to tell anyone what the solution is.
Hold on. No. This is why it's so fucked up. One, Asher is seen as already being gone through here before. They recognize each other.
Asher's been here.
But he literally does not get any... He doesn't... Nothing beyond that. He doesn't get to just
no reprieve. No, like... Yeah. So, presumably that means the riddle, like, changes, right? Or Eddie's just an idiot and said no, he should know.
But then
he said, "Do I have to do the riddle this time?" And then he said, "Yeah."
Here's something that I would give Eddie slack for if he wasn't such a fucking goddamn. Okay, I
like how he started so slow. Next time, being like, we might be a little hard on these guys. Yeah, like I said at the end of the last episode, I'm here to bully people, and this show sucks.
Which is Carrie pointing out the book, which normally it's like players don't like point out things that aren't brought to attention, but Eddie brings it to attention. He mentions she has a book.
Yes.
So it's like, Eddie, you show they have a peculiar object and then give them a fucking riddle. Of course someone might fucking ask about it. Don't act surprised and say, catch 33.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Crazy? They got everything, but the words are swapped a little.
That's so awesome.
How does Link code all that stuff?
The entirety of Remnant's entire culture being based on jokes that are things slightly altered or a red versus blue joke is the most, like, guys.
It's lazy.
It's lazy. So your entire world building not being spoken by characters being Easter eggs is not a good idea. It's fine to put the funny raptor on the front of the card, because that's the old joke of hiding a raptor in the season that Monty would do. There'd be the animation raptor in there somewhere. That's fine. But make it in the background, go see, oh, look, it's the funny people like grape soda joke. Not good, dude.
Okay, can I also go? I need to say something, and I will give someone a chance to.
You got it, buddy.
As a GM, I can't fucking stand what Eddie did, which is give a riddle, end the session, start the session. It doesn't actually fucking matter what you answer. It's just a perception check. Why the fuck is it just a perception check, Eddie? Why the fuck didn't you let them at least try to answer your riddle, Eddie?
Why is it just oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have a note. Riddles that you have to roll to solve and not actually answer. Cringe or more cringe?
I would say just like, I honestly think leaving people... Sorry, Ben, you can go.
I'm sorry, but I'm still confused as to what Eddie even meant by all this. Because
there's no answer, man.
I literally watched this part back like several times where I'm like, did they just not answer the fucking riddle?
Yeah, it's just the Huntsman's license.
They just showed the Huntsman.
The Huntsman license is the answer.
It's literally a roster roll to 16. Eddie took fucking control like his goddamn thing for Mass Effect 2 and made her pull out the license. Spoilers.
No, I don't. How is the license the answer? That doesn't make sense.
Because, Liam, to enter the skillful, you just need a license, but it doesn't have to be yours. So a license can't die.
Because it's like the Hunter exam.
Because it's like the Hunter exams. Haven't you watched Hunter x Hunter? Isn't it a good idea to just pretend your setting is Hunter x Hunter when these facets make no sense in the other setting?
How dare you?
Eddie thinks there's like a hunter school in Hunter x Hunter. He's like, that'd be a good idea.
No, it's like he just ended the session on a cliffhanger and legitimately just undermined the fucking cliffhanger the next week. Like, it only makes people feel like shit. There's no benefit. It only makes you and the whole thing seem so dumb.
It's so dumb.
So you're telling me that there is no riddle. It's just you show your license.
Yeah, there is no riddle.
The joke is, the riddle is saying you're 21 and can drink. The bartender went, what's above legal age but not too old? And you go, yeah, I have my ID. I can drink here. And he goes, oh, nice. And he hands you a beer. Like, that is the equivalent of what just happened. You went to the DMV and they gave you a riddle for your fucking driver's license.
I wish, dude.
Also, we need to talk about perception, Eddie.
Do we need to be perception? It would be insight. Yes. It should be insight.
It should be insight. Or if 5th edition was a better game, you'd have a knowledge skill for it.
It's okay. We have a lot of time to rant.
Investigate.
We have a lot of time to rant on skill checks.
It could be investigate too.
Yeah, skill check. Once again.
Oh yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but Liam, you can go. I guess.
No, you got it.
I just want to say, a personal gripe of mine is this always happens in basic systems. The perception stat is infinitely bloated to a ridiculous degree. It's why some sets, I think like Pathfinder and 3.5 had like listen and like spot, where they tried to split it into different things. Because this skill in a game where they try too many, like to have two simple skills, which can be an appealing idea, but perception always becomes so bloated because it's seeing and picking up on things. Guess what, guys? If you're playing a group of adventurers, pretty fucking critical skill.
But
and then people will do dumb shit like this, be like, I don't know, perception. It just gets bloated. It's like, why would you not just have good perception?
Noah, how else would a roster be useful?
Wow, she can make really insightful, witty comments like, a roster gives a look. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, no, dude. Let's talk about Opal.
No, wait.
You don't have anything else to say about Buck?
No,
Can we go back before they got into the bar?
Yeah, what is it?
They make a... Chad makes a... I wrote this down. Chad makes... Wait, when did he say that? Did I... Oh, no, here it is. Okay, so I wrote down... Does Chad hate the gays? Because Chad makes a funny joke about just shooting the woman.
Yes!
Because Arastra likes her. And I was like...
What was that? That was so out of nowhere.
Not very
progressive, Chad. Damn.
Not very progressive, Chad.
Yeah, that was weird. That, like, antagonism instantly.
Oh, there's a lot of antagonism this episode.
Oh my god. This episode, I want to describe this episode as, like, a panic attack. Like, this episode has we'll get into it a bit more, the fucking player dust cloud effect, where the DM is clearly like, god damn it, they're all on, like, the different side of the room insisting that they have something to do. And Eddie set himself up for this, so I don't know why he thought this would go anywhere else.
Eddie tried to do all of them at once like a fucking idiot. It's like, just do them one at a time.
Section them.
Don't.
You've seen my game. You know how I handle this.
Demand people tell you what they're doing, and then after they've all declared, then you handle it one by one.
I want to comment also, before we're too far away from this riddle. I have a theory. I wrote it down. I believe the reason we see this go immediately to perception is that there is a cut segment where they are guessing and just go, Eddie, I have no fucking idea.
Oh, they just
that is the only thing that makes sense to me. Is that all the players were like, I don't know, and that would explain why there's some testy energy in the air today. That they probably might have sat down for a while and tried to answer a retarded riddle. That none of them really care enough. They just want to get to the game, and Eddie's like, "Here's your riddle, it's free, buddy." So that's like a schizo theory, but it's a fair theory, I think.
Why does Chad... Okay, what is the reasoning for Chad having to answer the riddle a second time?
Because, I quote, it's kind of the appeal of the place. It's like a gimmick. She literally goes like, why do I have to wear a mask at this stupid party? He goes, oh, dude, it's a masquerade.
Oh, God.
Like, that is the equivalent of what happened.
Liam, what did you want to say?
Alright, so before they got into the bar, there was something very important that happened.
Right.
We established that Chad got kicked out of the bar last time he was here.
Yes.
And he doesn't say why, and then everyone wants to know why, and it's because he stole stuff.
Yes.
People forget this immediately, and they start trying to ask him about him again after he's explained it.
Yes!
But
I don't think it's specifically the bar
of the town.
No, he did get kicked out of the skillful for this.
I gotta keep going. But then this set up the joke of Chris's character, whose name I forget. Phoenix pats his pockets to see if anything's been stolen, and Chris says, "I stole your rope," and gives it back to him, setting up my favorite fucking joke throughout these episodes.
Here's his. Oh my god! I do think if Eddie just gave these guys more time to talk to each other, I think I would unironically like this show more, because player interaction is really important in a game, and it can really bring together the mood and really let people kind of feel their characters out. And I feel like there's some times when Chris and Carrie and Chad are talking to each other, there's like a little spark in me that goes, oh, I could see these guys having fun dynamics. Because they all fill different niches.
I'll be honest, I got that feeling from episode 3. I really liked episode 3. There was a lot of talk between the characters.
That's true. That has an upside.
I mean, there was a lot of bad stuff. But I liked the character stuff I saw from Chris and Chad. And in fact, in my notes, I have Chad is based like 8 times.
I will agree with you, Noah, on the point that if they had the time to talk to each other, they would be better because, well, I mean, they're forced to interact with the roster at points, and that only makes things worse. And they're forced to interact with Eddie's NPCs that are always bad and never good.
Wacky, crazy NPCs!
I'm so wacky.
Episode 3 is full.
Episode 3 is Welcome to My Carnival.
No, we have to also establish before we set foot in the skillful is that you need a Huntsman license.
Thank you.
But you only need one. It doesn't have to be yours. It doesn't have to be active. They could be the owner could be dead. But if you have one, no matter whose it is, you can walk in and then enjoy our lo-fi chill hop inside.
Literally, the quote is, because if you got it, it means you earned it. Like, once again.
Here you go, Taupe.
Here you go, Taupe. This has to... Eddie does not realize the kind of, like, is this really what you want to, like, set Opal up to be? Because I get the feeling Eddie likes the idea of Opal. But it kind of makes her seem like this scummy fucking shitbag immediately. Because she's like, you can, like, steal and kill people for licenses and you're let in. I don't give a fuck.
Comparable to the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
run with the Grim Reaper.
Run in the same circles.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to meet Opal.
Can I say
same.
Okay, he said that you can just have anyone's Huntsman ID. But when Pike enters, he's like, alright, yep, you're Pike. He said it.
He said it.
Buck
checked. Yeah. Like, they checked them. So, what if they saw it wrong to be like, you're not him. Here you go, get in. Like, why are you checking that? Just to see if it's real and to be like, you're a pussy. You didn't.
If a 10-year-old walked in with a Huntsman's license, like they stole it from their dad, could they go get alcohol?
Yeah, like I was thinking, like, my grandma passed away. She was a Huntsman in her heyday. She gave me her license. I can just come in. I'm just like a shitbag who's going to college for an arts degree. Like, I'm just this loser. Can I get in here and like jerk off the buck?
To be fair, as we see, the rule isn't actually real and not true.
The rule just literally doesn't mean anything.
As we get into not everyone in the bar has a license.
Yeah, this like I mean, am I supposed to assume Mr. Chillhop Beats has a license?
No. They literally say he doesn't.
That's awesome.
The generic guard who starts fanboying has a license. He's an ex.
Yeah, because he wasn't. Yes, because
he used to be a
huntsman.
But he wants to bow. He literally wants to bow, and it's like, you're like a huntsman. I kneel.
We're gonna talk about Daff so much of this fucking series.
God, Daff is so.
Let's not get to Daff yet.
So, do we have any comments on Opal before we continue?
Oh, well, yeah, we haven't even gotten to her immediately. I just wanted to say, also, the vibe I got from the Huntsman was supposed to be a hunting lounge feel bar, but like chill hot beats. Are you fucking serious?
We're down with the kids in the study.
What you do, fellow kids?
I walk
30-year-olds.
Literally, these 30-year-olds pretending they know what would be played at a bar. Like, ew, motherfucker. Do you think Eddie just panicked because he was about to say there's a bard in the corner playing a lute, and he's like, fuck, I'm not playing D&D.
No, I'll tell you what it is. He wanted to head Carrie's joke off at the pass.
You're so right.
You know, if it was like, somebody's up there just stringing on an acoustic guitar, just playing some good old music, and then what if is it like Skrillex? It is a bunch of fucking funny Borderlands 2 music. Yes, Carrie, you figured it out.
Look, Eddie, I don't remember if we mentioned this specifically, but he said that fucking Uber driver was listening to like Varation death metal. Sorry, Vacuin death metal.
Vacuin. Oh.
Vacuin.
Wait, what the fuck? I actually prefer that?
What the fuck? Like,
wow, you're Vacuin.
Once again, I stress, it's probably important to understand at least some input of culture. And the only two things I know about Remnant, the only music I know is desert death metal and random chill hop beats, and then like opera singing from Weiss. What the fuck, bros? Ew. This place sucks. Oh, sorry, and the Achievement boy bands. My bad. Almost forgot.
What about Flint Cole?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a weapon.
You know.
Yeah. You know. We.
It's just,
also important thing. Sorry, do you have a point on this? You can go.
Well, it's like how much can you even rail against it? Because it's obvious there was zero thought put into that decision.
I know, and I just hate it. As someone who hates when I put zero thought into something that I obviously should have thought of, it really bothers me when I see people do it with a smile on their face.
A ghoulish grin, you might say.
A ghoulish grin. I would say that, in fact. So Eddie does something really cool where he goes, you guys walk by and you see a poster for the upcoming Vital Festival, 39th Vital Festival. Vital Festival Comp Rose, world building, and I'm like, oh, that's fair. And then he goes record scratch. Just in case you don't get it, this is to date when this is happening, guys. So you could look at that and the current one and figure out what it is, RWBY fans. I'm just like, oh, wow, they think everyone's fucking retarded. Like, Eddie assumes mentioning a Vital Festival, mentioning the date, the number it is, isn't a big enough, like, red flag for you to be like, I can date this now. That he has to literally, like, pull out the semaphore flags and start screaming and telling you this is when it is.
Hold on, smart guy. Okay, when is it?
Well, it's 2 years before the current show.
Okay, fair enough.
Like...
Give us a little bit more than that. Come on.
It's so annoying. Also, it happened in Mistral. Ew! God. That's like going to the fucking Olympics in a
well, guys, hey, where can we have our Olympics? Oh, I don't know. How about in the place where crime is literally, like,
legal?
Just accepted. It's basically just accepted.
How many of the fucking, like, participants were just murdered?
By the gangs.
By the gangs.
Hey, to be fair, the one in Vale didn't do any better.
Liam, Liam, what else was on the wall? Do you remember?
Pictures? I don't know.
Pictures of who?
Pictures of who?
I don't know. Fucking Phoenix said he wanted to check it out, and then Eddie fucking...
There were a bunch of pictures lined up on the wall as pictures of different headmasters.
Oh, no. I kind of don't want to talk about this, but I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Various headmasters.
Does anyone
Why do you go, Blake?
It's so fucking stupid. It's just like, what? Oh, the Skillful is such a big place that's so renowned. All the headmasters have hung out here in their younger days. And it's just like, are you... Yeah, fucking...
Why here, though?
Fucking Sherman in this shithole backwater piece of shit town.
So, yeah, are you telling me that Ozpin has, like, come to Compton to hang out at a bar with Opal? Like, okay, Opal's supposed to be, like, from the heyday, like an old huntress who's renowned, and we'll get into her in a second here. So I get the idea, but, like, she's described old, but still looks young, so, like, it's impossible to date how actually old she is, which is a testament to, like, okay, she must have been a good huntress if she's able to retire and not die, sure. But this just goes back to one of my biggest issues they established in the world of Remnant, that Huntsman academies are under a century old at this point in Remnant. Like, they were founded, in the canonical timeline, like, I've definitely toyed with this and probably confused some people actually give a shit about RWBY lore. In the actual timeline, the Great War happened, by now it would have been 80 years ago in current RWBY, or, well, 78 in Grimm Campaign time. And that is when Huntsman academies were officially established. So, like, how fast do headmasters get rotated out? Like, I imagine normally young people don't take the spot since it's a big deal that Ozpin's kind of young, and I bet he's like 30-something that he took the spot. But, like, really, like, are we really rotating through that many in under a century to, like, line a wall with? Like, 20 at maximum, I guess. Like, and that's, like, generous, assuming people are fucking, like, having heart attacks left and right, or, like, rotating out of the position. Like, I don't know. It always rubs me the wrong way once I realize they established that Huntsman academies are not really actually that old in the grand scheme of things. Like, there could be people at Remnant who have lived before Huntsman academies existed, is really bonkers and kind of takes away some of the prestige of them. I really want Huntsman academies to kind of have this, like, at least some of the old ones, the four important great ones, to feel like they're these old, like, establishments of yonder years brought by like mankind's greatest defenders.
It should be like fucking Hogwarts, you know? Like, that shit's been around forever.
Yeah, it should be these cool old institutions that became famous because they trained humanity to defend themselves for the future. You want the founders of these places to seem like real big fucking geniuses who managed to establish something important to keep the humanity defended, and that's why people should respect them. But, as I've learned, in RWBY, no one respects anyone, so that's why they're probably young. No respect in the series. Everyone's such an edgelord. Jeez, man. You're Huntsman? You're probably gonna rob me!
Well, that's the thing. They in the Grimm campaign, they treat Huntsman like they're adventurers, like from D&D.
They treat them like shit!
They treat them like they're murder hobos, and honestly, I might be right.
Right, since every Huntsman who's not a Huntsman anymore is a shithead! Opal, the Taskmaster, the Team Smoke, they're just all criminals!
Is this what you aspire to be, RWBY?
Yeah, that's what it all comes back to. That's what it always comes back to for me, is going, okay, well, maybe that's what they want. But they started the show with characters like, I love Huntsman, I want to be cool like Huntsman who are heroes. But then the show's just like, hey, you're heroes, it's shit! And I'm like, is that supposed to be cool? Am I really supposed to see D and Dumb and laugh and not go, oh, that's... No. I thought Huntsmen were cool.
They're not.
No, they're not. They're shitheads.
Died. All the Mr. Huntsmen fucking
died. Wait a minute.
Because Opal, or not Opal.
Wait a minute.
Opal, fuck, the edgy nihilist.
I just realized, Hazel. I just realized a second. They didn't all die. D and Dumb lived. They're from Mistral. Carrie, Miles.
Oh no.
Don't look, bros, but your story has another hole in it.
They came afterwards.
They came afterwards. They came in afterwards.
D and Dumb, dude.
You're nitpicking.
Maybe Hazel looked at them and just thought they were so fucking stupid.
No. A crow only looked at that one board. He didn't look around at the other ones.
Oh, they were gone.
I guess everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead.
Crow looked up.
There was like 8 people. We have no allies.
This can't be happening.
Can we like call the police? In Mistral, RWBY, you lose your fingers.
Yeah, I'll get Alabaster on the line. What do you want from me?
Why didn't they go ask the Taskmaster for help, bros? I just don't get it.
Okay. So I have a note here after they get up to Opal and start ordering drinks. My note here is literally, this hurts.
Yeah, boy.
The scene of them ordering drinks is so fucking painful.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
So Opal is introduced for all you listeners. I want to try and keep some of you who aren't paying for this garbage a little caught up. Opal is the owner of this establishment, as we referred to. She is described as this old lady with old man strength, so she looks sinewy, but she doesn't look that old in the face. Maybe a few crow's feet, and she looks tough. And she's the hard-ass proprietor of this business. She's a former huntress who ran in circles, quote, with the Grim Reaper. So I don't know if he means exactly that, like, her and Maria knew each other, like, well, but, like, as in, like, yeah, they probably encountered each other. And to Eddie's credit, given her age and everything, that makes sense, since Maria's probably localized to Mistral. I don't really see Maria as someone who'd, like, fuck off to a different nation. She kind of seemed like someone who just wandered in the woods and like kept to herself from the description of her father's life and stuff. So it makes sense that they would have run into each other. And if Opal was good, yeah, sure. Like that is a good setup for a character to establish meta relevance and like, okay, this is like a cool old retired person. And maybe there's something interesting I can talk with them about or work an angle with them. Eddie just kind of plays her a bit grumpy and smarmy, and no one really cares about this. Like, Carrie kind of pretends Pike does at the start, and he works an angle, and he tries. It just doesn't really get anywhere. And I'm just really shook by, like, Opal seems... I'm gonna say it, guys. Can I get a vote? Is Opal a broken buck?
Whoa. What does he mean?
Because she just kind of seems like she barely cares what's going on around her until, like, almost a fight breaks out. Like, she's so apathetic and, like, bored with everything. Like, I know Eddie's trying to give her like an appearance of being like cool and like seen a lot of shit, so I'm not like phased by anything. But she's kind of like.
Can I point something out about Opal? But this applies to almost every character Eddie plays. I fucking hate how vague and coy everyone is. Like,
maybe that's like maybe that's like just people who act in Mistral.
I could tell you something if you ante up or do a perception check.
Oh my god, right. Okay, yeah. Them wearing the drinks, really awkward. This kind of plays into what Blake's saying. Really awkward. I think, like, Phoenix is literally like, dude, give me your best brew in keep. I want to go play with a halfling in the corner. Like, barely out of D&D mode.
No, keep in mind, he says, I want to order ale, and then you see Chad go, yeah, I'm ordering whiskey. And even Ross was like, yeah, I'm ordering whiskey too.
Yeah, Laura's like, that, sure. Carrie, of course, gets his epic joke. I don't drink. Everybody loves grape soda? And Eddie, containing laughter at such a stroke of comedy, he's like, I got it tied in the back, I guess. And those two, like, chew the scenery for like 10 minutes laughing at this fucking joke as Chris is just staring into the camera like this. Oh, I would like you to edit this in, like Chris's expression of pain.
Oh yeah. I wrote this down. Close-ups, funny still. They're still funny.
There is one in episode 4 I'm so excited to talk about. Hey, editor, thank you. I appreciate your work.
I'd like to say the reason that Chris is always staring at Chad's character is because Chad's character stole his rope and his Huntsman license and his money and
his scroll.
And it's just like. And he got really fucking angry about it, and like basically just tried to fuck off to the other end of the bar and not be near him. It was really funny.
I thought it was really funny. I didn't think the first stealing was very funny, but when he did it again at the table, it was like, "Oh, I'll pay for your drink," and then he's like, "But he's paying for his own drink and my drink." Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
I thought that was more clever. I liked it. This is one of those jokes that I think Chad. Because a repetitive joke can be very boring and just made for Liam by default.
Yes,
but
of course.
I think... Go ahead, Liam. Please describe this for the audience.
Yes, it would have just been boring if he just kept doing it over and over. But as we got into episode 4, he twisted it. He mixed it up, and I liked that. He does the same.
He utilizes it in different ways, and it was funny. And I'm like, this is good inter-party jokes. I might have come across this way in the first episode, and we might come across this way entirely. I don't think any of us are saying making your game funny is bad. It's the poor implementation of comedy that always is a problem.
Have you fucking watched this?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure if you've watched it, you understand it by now. But you really should be focusing in on, and I think this is important for players to understand, when you're trying to utilize humor just by itself, humor to develop, and then when you need to not be joking completely to develop. Because there's too many times when you can be like, I'm just going to go off on a funny direction, and then let that happen and let fade. Sometimes focusing in on these jokes is like a point of like actual discussion or like interest with the group, or just like development of your character is good. Like, I don't hate that Phoenix is actually played to be like actually fucking mad and getting frustrated with Asher. I'm like, that's good to be able to actually be like, play into the joke, but actually have your character take it seriously. Like, I appreciate this, not just like, Asher. He's like, dude, fuck off. And he like storms away. It's like, that makes it more funny and realistic seeming to like understand why a character would respond this way. Unlike someone in this party, I feel these two do all right with mixing in a little humor with their portrayals of their character. I never have it completely break my suspension of how I understand this character.
Ben, who's he talking about?
You know, I don't know.
I have a counter for it. We're gonna get into it. Did anyone remember how? Anyone who remembers, or I have it written down, how they approached the topic of asking Opal about what's going on and what her response is?
Oh yeah. Oh, you tell me. You guys were out there.
Holy shit, Eddie.
Like, what? the fuck is this runaround shit?
It's so fucking boring, and Eddie
And
does
then
Eddie always does it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they just go, well, yeah, we'll just tell you, and it's like, no, guys, don't give her the time of day. She's being an asshole.
Yes. What happened?
She literally just deflected, and you just took it.
She used the good old reverse Uno, and Eddie stares there for a second as they're like, I don't really know. And Eddie pipes up awkwardly, goes, "You guys want to do a skill roll to remember what happened?"
You guys want to do a skill roll? You guys want to do a skill roll? You guys want to do a skill roll?
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're playing 5th edition, dude. Back off.
Yeah, they're playing their own.
Yo, wait, Ben, can you give me a wit roll for that?
Like,
I have such bad wisdom, Chad says begrudgingly.
Again. Yet again.
Help me, I cannot. You know.
Liam, would you like to describe, could you tell me, is it cool to ask your players to do a skill roll to remember things that canonically happened within an hour?
No, that is, in fact, cringe.
What for, I say?
So, our glorious headmaster...
Especially when in real life it's been at least a week.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this really is the point we could push at early on that's showing how disconnected Eddie is with his players' understanding of his own world and how he's poorly conveying things.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna make a point. This is slightly off topic, so I'll make it. I think I can make it after this. It's not like on the point of what you're talking about, so I think you can go.
Okay, Eddie is really insistent that, like, they really should have suspected more from these Grimm acting this way. And while I agree with Eddie that this is clearly a point of interest, he is not exactly easing these guys into anything with how awkward the world is acting around them. And as beginners, they should have jumped on this faster and understanding it. However, I once again return to my point I brought up previous episode where, yes, everyone, I do know why these Grimm are acting this way. It is brought up later. And later we will learn that Eddie had dropped the ball and completely fucked it up because Eddie never explained one thing about these Grimm that should be clear. That is why they're acting this way. There is a visual indicator that should have keyed them in on these Grimm being extra strange. But because Eddie forgets it early on, not only does he make it less obvious for his players, who are already having trouble getting through a fucking, like, the equivalent of walking in a doorway in D&D role-playing. Like, they're stumbling at the first step. They need help. They need to be eased in. You are doing a very awkward job of working this connection with your players in. He is also depriving them of a very obvious factor. Because I presume Eddie thinks, oh, it'd be too obvious if I mentioned this then. Or he literally thought of it later and didn't even think, well, it's bad that I forgot to mention it before. I can't introduce something like this. Nah, fuck it. They won't notice. And it just rubs me the wrong way. So they basically tell Opal what happened, and she's like, yeah, Grimm are weird, huh?
Can I just say on that topic of, like, okay, I get it. First of all, they're fresh to this campaign. And I get you can't just tell your players all the time, oh, you noticed this weird thing that you should notice. But, like, their player characters are trained huntsmen.
Yeah.
Who should be able to just know, just by looking at something, that it's odd.
Yes.
But as a player, you're not in the eyeballs of a huntsman at that time who... You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say?
You don't have their life experience,
You don't have their experience to actually be like, oh, that is weird. So
yeah.
It should be something that is immediately obvious to their character, and it is more of a, oh, if you're a fan of RWBY, it's something that should make you be like, oh, raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a player, be like, oh, I guess that he's just being retarded.
Yeah, like, there is this... Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's just like, as a DM, I feel like, at the very least, especially early on in this, you should be like, yeah, that's very peculiar. And then if your players want to dig into that further,
the players
ask you, the DM, about it.
Yeah, like,
then,
it'd be fair to be coy, like Eddie, I think, wanted to. It'd be fair to, like, put the onus on them to figure it out. If it wasn't the beginning of the game, because right now they have full reason to believe you're just not giving a fuck.
Yes,
but, like,
this is the
if they see it if they, like, see that you know to pay attention to Grimm behavior, and, like, that would be weird, and then they see it happen later, then they could, like, key in on that. But right now, it's like, okay, there's just some Grimm attacking the gate. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for anyone watching along, or is who's just keeping up the podcast in general, or is watching Grimm Campaign before, like, is getting into it now or whatever, is hearing what we're saying, you would be forgiven for not realizing that attack on the gate is the critical, like, the crux of this adventure. It is the event that drove the adventure, because it is the point where you are seeing, oh, this is not just a Grimm activity issue. There is an odd behavior to the Grimm. This is the inciting incident of this story, if you would. And Eddie was so afraid of this concept, which DMs run into, because he's new, and he's not sure how to handle it, and he's also an idiot, and a terrible writer in general, that where they are afraid of the interfacing with the player, either showing their hand. And there's this sense of, well, say you're a DM and you wish to tell a mystery or something. You are very confused on how you weave a good mystery at first, because as D&D, you rely on a lot of your own descriptions and words, especially if, like you're Eddie, you don't have a lot of maps in front of you where players can look around and be like, I want to poke at this. So in a situation like this, where you're working a theater of the mind most of the time, and describing things around them, if you're not consistently describing things well, you will be worried when you start to say things that players will laser in on it and figure out your quote-unquote puzzle too easily. But the problem is, if you then go the completely other direction and try and obfuscate it a little too much, players will never notice. Because to you, the DM, everything seems so obvious, so clear. Your A to B to C to D seems like you look at it and you cringe and you go, oh, it's embarrassing how obvious it is. Of course they're going to find the lever under the carpet. But when you go into a room and the players are there for an hour looking for the carpet, and you don't realize that, oh, maybe I don't have to worry about this in the future. I should just describe this shit. You need to adapt quickly. You need to start changing it. And this is Eddie's first attempt to maybe do that, but he continually falls for this terrible, like, trap over and over and over again, because the players aren't as keen as he wants them to be. And yeah, I get it. Seems like an obvious thing at first. You're supposed to know Grimm hunt people. That's it. They like bad emotions. They wouldn't. Lancers could fly over these gates normally, but they're going down to these gates to attack them. But in the mind of the player, all I see is encounter with a gimmick. Okay, sure, yeah. They're attacking gates. They're not. You put them in the mode of combat and then expected them to be very suspicious of it afterwards, when in the moment, you're not keying in on any strange details. Eddie, if you wanted to keep one detail hidden, the obvious thing to do is have the Lancers that are coming out of the forest fight the party, but have the Lancers at the gate. When they run up to them and attack them, the Lancers just ignore them and die trying to kill the gate. Like, that as a player would click, be like, that's fucked up. Like, why are these guys suiciding? Wouldn't they be attracted to the person nearby? Instantly, easy way to make it. Real way to do it would be just do the thing that they're supposed to have later, we'll get into. Embarrassing that you didn't include it. And it just makes this whole encounter fucking bizarre, because Eddie downplayed the start of his game in a quote-unquote mystery story. He made the inciting incident a footnote. I've gone on a long rant here. I apologize. It just bothers me so much.
I would like to currently pose Liam a pop quiz.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
What was the gate that took the most damage? What was its name?
Oh no, dude.
No. Come on, Liam.
Bill?
Bill what?
Bill what?
Bill Gates.
You're right! You did it!
You're right! Because that's what the players are thinking of in the encounter! The funny Bill Gates joke!
Yeah?
Because you know what players do in combat encounters? They distract themselves when it's not their turn, because they're in combat!
Okay. Noah went on a huge rant. Ben, do you want to pick us back up?
Oh god, honestly, I want to get away from Opal, and I want to get away from all this shit.
Yeah.
We got to go into. God, I've literally already forgotten his name. What's his fucking name?
Liam,
Before you go to him.
Oh no.
Important.
Crow wannabe.
right before him, I just want to. I said this earlier, but I want to reiterate it. Is after having his stuff stolen, Chris says, "I'm pissed. I'm gonna go walk away and go look at the pictures." And then Eddie's like, "Okay." And then they start talking at the table again, and then he just comes back. And Eddie doesn't give him a chance to look at the pictures, and Chris realizes that nothing's happening there, so he's like, I guess I'll just jump back in this conversation.
Do you think there was like a cut where like he told Chris there was like nothing there?
Might be, because this is number one. First inciting incident of "fuck you, Chris" that Eddie will have over these next 2 episodes. That puts Chris into the mindset of never again shall I attempt to interface with this game outside of your fishnet hook that you have put me on.
Oh, also,
Chris will be buck broken over the course of the first part of this season.
It's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm. Also, before they go, Chris Phoenix shows Opal a photo.
Oh, I did not remember this, honestly. This was so bizarre to me, because I didn't fucking know.
It has no bearing on anything.
I know! That's why I'm so confused, because it never fucking goes anywhere!
But you can see that Chris was like, maybe I'll work my backstory into this, it would be cool. I gave Eddie some notes. Eddie's like, which one is this?
No. Opal says, there might be some people you could talk to about this, and I think this is literally never brought up.
No. This is such pain.
Opal says, no, confidently, I think people that can help you are in the city.
Yeah, in the hedges. Yeah. So let me describe this for the viewers, if you guys don't mind.
They can buy the episode.
I don't want them to.
Right.
There is a phenomenon in the Grimm Campaign known as, I want to say it, critical role syndrome, where they are obsessed with presenting a show rather than functionality. And in a show, a scene like this might happen, where a character, as a scene's ending, will do something that the others aren't aware of that forebodes something in the future. That's a setup for it. And they wish it to be vague and mysterious. But in a D&D game, that's awful and awkward, especially if the DM, as they say in this, Chris has basically had this situation where he gave Eddie a backstory. I don't think Eddie really wanted this level of detail that Chris probably put into his story. And he's like, I gave you some notes on this. And Eddie goes, yeah, who's in this photo again? Tell me. Like, is it a man or a... they have this weird, awkward exchange where they're trying to play around talking what's actually in this photo.
Is it a guy or a Lagoose?
Yeah, literally. Because Eddie doesn't know what exactly is in this photo. And also doesn't want Chris to say it out loud because that would spoil the audience, dude, on his backstory. So they're trying to obfuscate it from us. Why?
Because it's mysterious.
And as Opal is the woman where everything in Kuchinashi goes down, I understand why Chris would assume that maybe this is a good spot for information. Eddie gives him a false lead, and it's epic. Thank you.
Also, really sad, guy shows a picture to the person, everyone in the party's there, no one's like, hey man, what's that about?
Yo, exactly.
I'd be interested as a player, like, what's that? Everyone was interested when fucking Chad was fucking arrested. Why is no one interested when this guy's fucking flashing photos trying to get information?
Everyone jumps on Asher for getting thrown out of a bar once.
Wait. So when he does that, I'm sorry for once again delaying you, Ben, but okay, Arastra does like the gayest thing I've ever seen any player do, which is so one player has a scene discreetly where he shows a picture to an NPC specifically saying he doesn't want to be seen. So Arastra, after the scene is fully over, speaks up and says, yeah, I was trying to listen in. That is
to hear this.
That is the absolute worst fucking thing I think I can possibly imagine any fucking player ever doing. A player literally tried to do a scene away from all the other players, very discreetly saying he wanted to do this without anyone else seeing, very casually and like very low key. And then another player literally at the end when it's over then said, yeah, I was listening in with no way. They did not say shit because she never says shit. She didn't say anything before he had the fucking scene. And it's the stupidest, most bullshit fucking thing I can possibly imagine. And it makes me so fucking mad. Because why would you fucking do that?
I gotta say, I did not think this affected you so much.
No, I'm with Blake because it is scummy because it's giving the player like no because you are initiating the haha players doing skill checks on each other. You're giving Phoenix no chance to be like counter skill checking.
It sets a bad precedent. It does.
It's such a horrible precedent, and it's so lazy. It's like it's so shitty, and she doesn't do anything with this later. We made jokes on the first one.
Honestly, if I almost feel it's kind of like, well, God, bros, if no one wants to talk to him about this, like, it's almost like, I'll listen to your gay backstory, Phoenix. But but I know it's more like, I kind of wanted to know that, or I don't know. I don't know what Laura's mind is half the time.
I don't know what Laura's mind is because there's nothing interesting in this conversation besides seeing him flash a photo. I would just been like, can I see that he looks over at the photo? Like, would you be
is Phoenix really that secretive of a person?
No, it's literally like instead of just saying you secretly spied on them after you already know what they were talking about, you literally just say like, okay, well, Laura could see that he was the thing Laura can just or Rostra can just see that can't be hidden is Phoenix still standing there talking to her about something. Like, he's still standing there when all of them walk away. There's no hiding that. So then she could just, like, come up to him, like, very casual and just like, hey, like, what were you asking her? Like, anything about, like, what we're doing? Like, did she say anything? Like, that's how you do that because there's nothing wrong with that.
Because then it gives the other player the initiative on deciding if they want to allow themselves to be, like, spilling more information or be coy. Because if you do it in like a way where you're like, drop something, you can be like, I'm initiating a chance for you to talk about your backstory, or if you want to keep it secretive for now, you can say, no, and play it off and let them be like, oh, okay. And because it's a kind way to work with a player on initiative.
Yeah, it's his backstory to share, and it's specifically good to do that kind of thing, because he tried to keep it secret initially too. So it's good to give him the basically call on if that is something you should know or not.
But instead, we're just going to roll on each other and make it very awkward and clunky and like uncomfortable.
Ben,
don't rape your way into someone's
Jesus Christ, Liam. Well, can you segue us into the next funny NPC?
Oh God. Okay, so we're gonna go into Fake Crow, and I'm not being coy. I'm being a little bitch right now.
Nice.
This is literally just Eddie just says he looks like a knockoff Pro Brandwin. Like that is like just what his words are.
It is post Volume 7 Crow.
He says he looks younger and he looks like but the same. So like I
have to ask the question. I have to ask the question. And, oh, by the way, he talks like Crow, or what Eddie attempts to, or what Eddie thinks Crow. See,
better than a voice actor.
I don't even know what he's attempting. I don't know why the guy looks like Crow. It's not funny. It's not a funny joke.
Eddie literally.
Hey, no, dude. Next time you want to make it like a character or something, could you just be like, dude, it's just like a knockoff RWBY. Like it just looks like a slightly older RWBY.
I could literally not think of a shittier way to introduce a character that is supposed to not be completely one-off than starting off being like, they're kind of
it's not like it's a random encounter they have with some weirdo. It's just like it's a guy who gives them vital information.
It's not that I put Adam Sandler in the core of the Vital Festival map as a joke. It's walking up to the new character. I go, Yeah, they kind of look like Adam Sandler with a mohawk. You would literally not know how to handle that if I then proceeded to make them a major character in the arc. Like, you would literally... Why'd you describe them like that? It's because I don't know how to describe characters, Love.
Felix, I don't know what to think of this guy. Tell me what your scouter says, Felix.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a knockoff Viridian who showers. Like,
whoa!
Way to introduce a character, Noah. Cool. It's so lazy. I just think he doesn't know how to describe characters.
Can we just also point out that, yes, in fact, Daff is a town guard that was also a huntsman.
He was a former huntsman.
Everyone was a former huntsman, apparently. I guess everyone just retires.
You just go to college, dude.
Well, he had to have...
Yeah, it's like everyone just went to fucking college. Apparently.
Daff is fucking awful.
Like, yeah, Daff is introduced and acts like a joke character because the only way you can characterize people is through making them a joke.
Wait, no, I got it. Before you go into describing Daff, Ben, I'd like to also say, no, it makes sense. He's a town guards hunter. I mean huntsman.
Hunter. He's a town hunter. He's a criminal hunter.
Yeah. He's literally a criminal hunter. I mean huntsman. I totally am not just acting like...
Who no one respects because the town guard are cringe.
Well, yeah,
so does he work for Alabasta?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Just double checking
the town guard, or the castle guards, as we should say.
Guards serve the sheriff.
They serve the sheriff.
So Ben, how long does it take for him to go from opening speech to starting to bow at their feet?
Oh, literally 3 seconds. Like,
yes.
I don't think I don't think there's ever like a transition. I think he's just like sucking their dick instantly.
He starts off really like a fucking loser. I have on my notes. Literally, the first thing he does after they approach and ask him a single question is, Eddie says he nervously takes the drink from them. I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck? What? I thought this guy was supposed to be like a cool crow, and he's nervously taking a drink? What a fucking loser!
What are huntsmen? What the fuck are huntsmen in this universe?
They are literally armed.
They're ANCAP.
Are open carry ANCAPs that can kill you because they're trained to, and no one can stop them apparently.
They're ANCAP.
But they're also like, none of them are cool?
They're all shitbag losers who do have guns. Alabasta looks at these guys and they're like, great, some hillbillies with bombs showed up in my town. Daff looks at Carrie and walk up and go, oh god, this idiot's gonna kill me. Hey Liam, what's an awesome way to make me really start to get to know a character by, like acting through the game? What's a cool way to convey information while the character is also flavoring it in their own style of being their own character that Eddie performs here with Daff?
I don't know, being a fucking joke? I don't know what you're getting at.
Oh, okay. Here. So we talked to Daff for a bit, and they're like, oh, Daff, you know something strange that's been going on, right? Can you tell us about it? How does he tell us about it? What does Eddie then do? The worst thing a DM can do. Possible.
He makes them roll.
No. I'm sorry.
A guess. I didn't actually remember, so I took a guess. I'm sorry.
Eddie performs this baffling move of cutting himself off in character to recount the story.
Oh, yes.
As Daff is going, well, there's this thing that happened in the Hana warehouse. So Daff then puts his drink down and begins to explain that in one of the Hana warehouses, Eddie cuts himself off and does a meta, boring recounting of a story. Rather than letting the NPC in front of them tell it.
Okay.
Eddie, this is such a failure.
Okay. Not to stroke myself off, but if you want a good fucking example of what that should look like, I did something like that recently in my One Piece game where Lee Ali was talking to Nephany, so I cut back in time to the island they were previously on to show a scene that happened but did not happen with any players around.
Yeah, like, you can do a cutaway if you want. Like, those are good ways to get people
invested.
But
don't just start reading a fucking book at me, Eddie. I know you can't speak as anyone ever unless they're literally a joke.
Like, this is so much worse than I think you're making it out. It is literally... this is like... Okay, for example, let's say we're talking to somebody at a bar. No particular example here.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking to someone at a bar, and the guy's like, "Oh man," I'm like, "No," I'm like, "So what can you tell me about the Knights, for example?" And he goes, "Well," and then I hear Noah go, "He goes on to tell you how the Knights are cringe and doesn't like them," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but you should
flavor it."
No, like. But he's saying that in character, though, so say it in character.
Yeah, he said it in his voice.
Like, why are the Knights cringe?
He said it in his voice. I'll explain what they are, though. But he's talking about this. Like, it is the most baffling decision.
Very baffling.
Like,
yeah,
you as a DM have only so much time to reasonably establish characters without forcing players to interact with them more often or not. Especially if, like, you're doing, because Eddie is, for all intents and purposes, doing like a mystery game setup for this story. It is an investigation into an issue. And he is making members of the suspicious city lose chances to characterize themselves by conveying meta information like this.
Yeah.
Like, Daff is losing his opportunity to be a character. I would like to know how Daff explains this story. And also, it's not a complicated story. Here's the story. A Berengal broke into one of the warehouses that the drug peddling gang, the Hana, were in, and destroyed the entire warehouse intentionally, it seemed. And they managed to subdue it eventually, but it seemed to be there to destroy the warehouse. Daff is like a guy in a town's guard. Like, he should be able to describe it in an interesting way, where he's like, yeah, one of the normal spots we know they operate out of, but we can't really bust right now. It's kind of dangerous. Something like came charging into town. Like, this is a chance for this mystery to get some more interesting details, because ostensibly they should be going to this town suspicious of everyone might have some weird motive in this crime town. So you shouldn't zoom us away. You should have Daff explain it so they can analyze how Daff fucking talks and what he's saying about it and be like, why would the town guard say this or something? Just on base level, it's so fucked up.
Look, Noah, I just want him to update the quest waypoint.
Literally!
Listen, can you just imagine I said that in the Daff voice?
It's literally, imagine me say it in the Daff voice.
But I did have a random note here that is basically surmising the whole, like, bar experience, which is this bar the prime example for why boys' night stopped happening? Any thoughts?
That is a very old callback.
It's an old callback, and I agree. Thumbs up.
Okay, but really, Daft is a punk bitch.
No, not Daft. Daft. Like
Daft.
We can't go past the fact when Phoenix is like, well, my stomach rumbles. Where can I get some tacos?
Because I hear it down too. You know, in a good places for tacos.
Yeah. You take out your scroll, it marks down your map.
You put it says it's a waypoint on your Skyrim.
You're literally playing Fallout. He marks down your map.
Literally said that. Made me want to choke and die. You
can't fast travel there, but it's like it's there. If you look in the map, it's kind of.
You have to discover it.
Yeah,
but I did mark it down for you.
Yeah.
One more quick note about this story. As cringe as it is, and awful as this initial talk with Daff is, there's one note here that I think is actually a masterstroke of Eddie that no one picked up on. Eddie says one Berengal destroyed an entire warehouse staffed by the Hana gang. One single Berengal. Now you might be
pathetic.
You might be thinking, isn't that like intense? That also he mentions it snuck into town. Once again, just another detail Daff should say. Berengals, in case you're not a RWBY lore aficionado like myself, they're the Gorilla Grimm. RWBY's trailer for Volume 4 is the sighting we saw them fight. We saw the winged ones later. Berengal are pretty cool Grimm type. They are generally in Mistral, I'm pretty sure. This is not like a weird detail. This is not the Hana gang being punks. This is foreshadowing to the awe-inspiring might of what the gorilla is.
The monkey.
monkey. Oh, also at one point, Daft says the amazing line of, normally you look around and you see a bunch of junkies on the streets looking for hits. And I realized that Eddie has never been to a slum or talked to anyone who's done drugs in his life. This is the most uncomfortably awkward, like, 40-year-old CEOs in a room trying to figure out how, like, people talk about drug addicts.
Yeah, they're not
bunch of junkies in the street looking for hits.
They're not dying on the corner, they're dying inside a building.
Holy shit.
They're also on the corner. They're on the corner trying to get you to play Sonic the Hedgehog while playing crack with dice, or playing dice with crack.
Why are the big gangs in this town like drug gangs and like?
Well, that's only one. That's only one of them.
There are two gangs.
What was the second one? Just like
there's two gangs. There's the Hana who deals drugs. Then there's the Wave who are new and deal in Atlassian weapons and technology.
Okay, that one's slightly better, but why aren't they like big like dust runners or like other shit like RWBY themed to make these like RWBY gangs? Like why aren't they like Torchwick? Torchwick was a cool fucking gangster in the RWBY universe in episode 1. Why are these just fucking lame? Like why aren't they like the Yakuza with dust?
Torchwick was cool. He had cool gang members. They had an outfit that was good for, like, putties, but also made him look cool and stylish. He had an interesting motive that was never explained, so it wasn't interesting afterwards. But in the moment he was cool. He was a dust thief. That's interesting. And, like, he's got style to him. The Hana gang, literally Eddie says they were selling opioids. Like, he does not even come up with a custom drug in the RWBY universe. Holy shit, how lazy can you be?
Man, you could probably
Why is it like fucking lightning crack or some bullshit?
Yes.
Make it stupid RWBY.
No, I'm actually really interested to see how drugs come up more. And you've already brought them up some, but like you probably make some really fucked up dust drugs. So I'm expecting that to come up more and more.
Because in RWBY, like, you need to assume in Remnant, just as a world building detail, Eddie's never really wants to get into fun world building details that like an autistic person like me wants to get into, where like because of dust, technology and the way things advance went at probably an accelerated but different rate. Like I don't know, like people in Remnant probably found alternative ways to do simple stuff that we assume. So you have to assume society is a lot different. Like plant dust in of itself probably means the agricultural technology and development techniques in Remnant are probably so fucked up that if they ever are out of plant dust to sustain themselves, they probably don't know how to do this shit normally. Do people know how to do fucking iron working normally in RWBY, or do they use dust to make weapons and shit, to catalyze and activate dust to create metals and things and shape them from there? Do they know how to mine materials normally, or is it only dust they mine and manufacture into things? Are there alloys in Remnant and shit? Is the scientific table different in Remnant, folks? I'm asking for the fucking elements, Eddie, but all you have is opiates! Are you fucking for real?
Well,
you can't even call it something funny! I'm so mad!
I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I live in Appalachia. We literally made a better RWBY opioid. It's called Crocodile. That sounds better than anything that you ever come up with in your life, Eddie.
Has it never struck Eddie that he should have called it by a Grimm name or something? Yeah, they fucking sell Berengal. Like the Grimm. No, you idiot! You inject it into your fucking between your thumb and your index finger. Game! If they're the Hana gang, call them all flowers. Be like, this is chrysanthemum, but it's a fucking drug. It's so easy, motherfucker! It's so easy!
No, I can ease your worries a bit. If you want medals, I know a guy.
For metal. That's a tease for an upcoming episode of Safari on a different subject we'll do one day. Don't worry, guys.
What if I just what if we literally just post the entire thing with us pausing and commentating?
I don't know. I can go through that again.
I don't know about that one. That would be a pretty good one, though.
I think we could do that.
Probably, yeah.
It's like a movie watch along.
I don't want to bore the audience too long, but let's just say we do have something very interesting that we might use in the future. Okay, now that we've covered the junkies on the street looking for hits, I'd like to detail before I hand this off to someone. I'd like to start off with the introduction to how this scene starts. Hey, Arostra, I'm gonna go murder that DJ. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, you can pick who to hand it off to.
Yeah, who wants to take this? Blake, maybe you want to throw this one out?
Okay, yeah, I can hit us with Chagget's adventure.
Why do you call him Chagget every time? His name is Chad.
I know.
He's a Chad.
I know. Sorry, I just got the guy on the brain. Okay, so oh man, that means I won't get as much intro into the next topic, but I'll take the L. I know everyone's itching to talk about our next topic. So our guy, Chad, what's his fucking character's name again?
Asher.
Mora. Right. Asher decides, with the help of that other person that's here sometimes and maybe speaks up, that follows him around and literally doesn't do anything, that he will go up to the DJ who is suspiciously eyeing him. But once he starts talking to him, he realizes he wasn't actually suspiciously eyeing him. Eddie's just a retard. He talks to the DJ, and after, some simple conversation, he pulls out his fucking knife and sticks it to the guy's belly. And says, I'll get you like a fucking fish unless you tell me anything. So
standard Huntsman operating procedure.
Wait. I have a note here.
Okay.
Chad is based.
Yeah,
Chad is based.
Well, Chad doesn't fuck around. He's like, oh, you're an Eddie NPC. I'm just gonna fucking threaten you because you're gonna kneel to me. But as the man kneels for his life, because these are huntsmen, and he's not a huntsman, proving that you don't have to be a huntsman to get in the bar. And
awesome.
The town guardian here is a huntsman, so I guess I'd assume that even the musician was a huntsman, because everyone's a huntsman.
You think he would just bought a license to be able to play at huntsman only establishments? I don't fucking know. Is this a normal thing? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But as they go back for a weirdly long amount of time where the guy's like, oh, you're gonna wait, you're gonna pay me? So you're just joking, right? You're gonna gut me like a fish? And Chad is like, no. I'm gonna not gut you like a fish, but give you the money after you give me the information. Then we go our separate ways. Pat on the cheek. So then the guy then asks again and says, I'm gonna pee my pants. Can you not gut me like a fish? And it's like, no. I won't get you like a fish, like I just said. So after that, he decides to say yes. He does know things. What he knows is that he was ordered by a man he owed a favor to that also owes favors to everyone else as described, said to keep watch on anyone that comes in here asking after the Hana gang and the Grimm. And those are two things our heroes asked about. Huh? So, who is the man that owes favors to him and favors to all, and also collects favors? Something, it's really stupid. This man is an ex-huntsman. So, it doesn't really narrow it down, but he's also named the Taskmaster.
He's also named the fucking Taskmaster. Record scratch. I have to vomit. Eddie, are you fucking... Come on. So, Eddie thinks this character is so fucking
So it's like,
cool.
Oh, do we have to go find a Taskmaster? I don't know. But here, you can find him with this. And he hands him a bronze coin. So yes, Noah, they do know how to mine and process metal.
I guess so. Well, no, that could be made with metal dust combination is my point. Go ahead.
He gives him a bronze coin with a weird scratch on it and says...
It's an X.
Yes,
it's a fucking X.
X marks the spot. We're a pirate game now. He says, you take this coin, show it to the right people, wink wink, and then they will take you to the Taskmaster. Why do we want to go there? I don't know. We don't really have shit to go on because, we'll get into this a bit later, but I just want to reiterate, the mission they got was literally nothing. They didn't actually hear what it was, so they just stumbled into town and are acting figuring out what the ups with the Grimm is literally what they're supposed to do.
The mission is just go kick shit around and figure out why the town's so weird recently.
Find out why the town smells.
Here's a DMing tip that I have. I have another one coming up, but I'll use this one right now.
How to be a great DM.
Base.
Yeah. Save it, Brit.
DMing Brit's gaming section.
Save it, Brit, for your solo session.
You told me to save it, dude?
Yeah.
Watch it.
But basically, if you're a GM, try and make your opening hook not fucking bad and boring. Like, I don't know.
Vague.
Or I don't know, giving them literally nothing to go off of, so they wander around and turn into murder hobos. Because if you give players nothing, they're gonna just wander around like idiots, not knowing what to do because you didn't fucking inform them of anything, and then they're gonna start getting antagonistic because they're like, hey, what the fuck are we supposed to do? You need to railroad! Sandbox games are a myth!
But dude, the message cut off at the end and it was fucking suspicious!
Yeah, I'm sorry, Glinda, I don't fucking care. Yeah, so basically Chad learned that he has to go find the Taskmaster somewhere in town, got the coin for it. Comes up later, not in this episode or the next one. He tries to mention it later, and we'll get to that after they've all exited the bar, because this is really, really weird. And I think Liam, who's been keeping a strong track on the Chad and like Phoenix situation, dynamic
yeah, Phoenix dynamic, a lot to say.
Yeah, is probably very aware of what happens after they leave the bar and the weirdness of that interaction.
That entire scene is so awesome.
But I think Liam or Ben, one of you can intro us into our last section of the bar and who enters.
Hold on, Mr. Colville. Your GMing tips are helpful, but I have something to say very, very quickly. Very quickly. During this scene where Chad is talking to the DJ, there is a part where we will cut away from it. Because where he's saying, like, should we cut away from this? Because I don't want to take up too much time. Chad is in the mindset where he fears cutting off the shitty Takeo jokes while he's currently trying to figure out how to go through Eddie's adventure. This is the mindset of the players already of, dude, I don't want to take up too much time, like, doing the story. We want to go to someone else so Pike can, like, jerk off in the corner a little bit. Like, bro, Chad, do not feel bad for trying to be the player who's driving things along. Like, you're doing the right thing. It bothers me that he thinks he's, like, doing something wrong.
Well, speaking on that, does anyone want to segue into Pike and Phoenix jerking off in the corner?
Oh, no. Oh,
Ben,
no.
Ben, you sounded like you were enthusiastic.
Pike and... Oh, you wanted me to do that? I thought you wanted me to do the team that...
No, that's what happens. They break in.
That's how...
Right. No. I have to talk about what Carrie's joke that absolutely kills, bros.
Yes.
Carrie's funny joke is, you know, God help Eddie. He's like, some guys walk in. He describes their looks. I'm not going to describe them because they look cringe. Just imagine the 4 cringiest people you can think of.
Goffs.
I will say this, though. Chad when he goes, one of them's fat and wears goggles. Chad goes, oh, what, Roadhog? And I was like...
How prescient!
This was recorded before Overwatch was dead. Okay. And then Carrie makes... I will give Carrie this. His timing on this joke is pretty good. They walk in and he interrupts Eddie and goes, oh no, extroverts. And everyone starts dying. And I was like, you know what, Carrie? I'll give you that joke. You at least timed it correctly. I'll give it to you,
That
Carrie.
was pretty funny because he literally... Because he cut Eddie off, and that's the funniest thing ever.
That's the most base thing possible.
It's so base.
Yeah. So
and right before this, I have this note. I don't remember when he said it.
Yeah.
To just immediately just say, fuck Carrie, he's not funny. Before that, he made a joke where he said they should go to warm subject.
Oh my god! Fucking god, you're right.
I did not hear that. Is that real?
What did you
That's fucking real. I remember this now.
What did you say?
Liam, I remembered hearing that and literally not understanding what the fuck he meant. Thank you for clarifying.
Warm subject, also known as the Wacky World Hot Topic.
Yeah, another institution of Remnant.
Oh!
Golf shop.
What
Warm
the-
subject.
Oh.
Carrie's humor is the equivalent of a Cards Against Humanity game.
Okay.
That's so bad.
I get it, because what's his name? Sil walks in and he's described.
And he's at golf.
He's described as an emo valley girl type of guy.
Yeah.
Let me describe how every member of Team.
Oh my god.
What's their name, everyone?
Smoke.
Team Smoke. Smoke.
Every
No,
member of Team
no.
Smoke is described as having eyeliner and being smug.
Yeah, no, I don't know we have to get too deep into it, because they actually get character portraits later.
I know. Yeah, that's pain.
It's not like they're actually super fucking important right now.
The most defining characteristic of the crew in general is Martin is fat, Mina wears a helmet, Khaki wears khaki, and Sil flips his hair. Like, literally awesome. Awesome, Eddie. Good work. Eddie sings this joke where one of the members of Team Smoke, who are these antagonistic young Huntsman graduates, come in, where someone says Team Smoke and the rest of them go, is like the most funny joke ever.
Can I ask something before we get into describing Team Smoke and find out the answer to this question on our regard? Team Smoke, Kecker cringe, and then follow up. What did Andy intend?
I think he intended for everyone to do a big funny laugh, and then he wait a second. These are my villains.
Yeah, literally, yes, exactly. Cringe. I only know how to characterize for humor, and I've realized I've ruined my entire idea of having villains by only characterizing for humor, because no one wants to take them seriously.
Okay.
How could you? How could you take them seriously after the scene? How?
Can I say that the guy's first line did get a big fucking laugh out of me?
Yeah.
When he rolls up into the bar and says,
No, this is good.
"We're here to celebrate on that
That
guy's
guy is badass.
That is
Good line, Eddie.
That is a fucking hilarious
Phoenix
power
took
move,
that
and he
to
timed
heart.
it correctly.
And I like, once again, my boy Chris rolling with this shit and trying to actually characterize himself and do some work here by interacting with them correct. Props to Eddie. That's a great opener line to get a feel of a group. That's funny.
I wish Eddie didn't fucking stonewall his own line by making the other NPC be like, "Oh, you jokester, you can pay for it yourself."
Yeah.
Why not just be like, "All right, let's see how my player reacts to this." If they fucking do like soft dick it and like don't respond, then the bartender could then say that. But then like, I don't know, fucking
let someone respond first.
Phoenix was down to do the angle of, I guess I'll pay for their drinks and force them to hang out with me.
Yeah,
that's a great angle to take.
Yeah, it's awesome, and Eddie has no confidence in his players interacting with his world ever, which is why it becomes so hard to interact with his world.
Oh yeah, no, it's so wasteful, and I would fucking, like, I would be overjoyed if I had that moment, like, of where I have a character enter the bar, do, like, a dick move like that, where it's like, that's a pretty good opening for, like, a more antagonistic character, just like, you know, it kind of sets a tone, and then my player takes it in a completely different regard, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna use this as a chance to try and be friendly with them, and it's like, oh, that's pretty based.
Like, God, if I was good at role-playing Ron, that's a Ron move.
Yeah.
Based.
Yeah,
no, exactly. Like, this is a good opener to a scene. This is like, okay, this could be really fun. And Phoenix is the only one who really, I think, manages to have fun with it. Well, Carrie has fun with it because he fucks around and makes it awkward. Which is Carrie's...
I have a note for that. I liked that scene with Chris until Carrie showed up. And I wrote down, "Oh no, Carrie, no, the scene was based, don't enter."
No.
And next to that I have, Ron enters Elysian.mp4.
Okay.
Yeah!
Okay. Can I point something out? And we might go back a bit to describe what Chad and Erastra are doing in the middle of this. But so Phoenix walks up to try and be friendly, right? Yeah. But and I'll let someone describe this a bit more. But there's this specific interaction here that confused me, and I think everyone that's not Eddie, which is literally like, Sil looks at Phoenix and it's like, sit down. And then Phoenix eventually sits down and then is like next to him and is like, what? And Sil was like, I meant away from me.
From me!
And I literally paused and was like, Eddie? What?
Eddie literally forgot what he said.
Eddie
literally forgot what he had just said in panic.
It's literally just like, Eddie, you then said there were open seats near him. Eddie! What the fuck? What kind of response? How would anyone assume saying sit down to someone directly next to you talking to you means for them to fuck off? That doesn't make any sense!
You know how, like, that gif of Pepe with a wheel where he's steering it wildly? That's Eddie's entire life trying to characterize people and talk as them. He has no idea. He's losing control constantly.
Oh, God.
The funniest part is right before that fucking Phoenix walks up. Maybe it was Asher. No, Phoenix walks up and says, hey, I don't really know about you smoke guys. What are you guys up to? Who are you? And the guy says, if you're a fan, look me up on your scroll or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Eddie, that is, first of all, nonsensical, and two, that statement doesn't even make sense. How would he be a fan if he had to look you up and didn't know who you are? That doesn't make sense, Eddie.
If you're a fan. Like, Eddie mixed up two sentences, going, if you don't know who I am, you don't get my time, and, but you're a fan, huh? Or it's like, you don't know who I am, look me up, you'll find out. Or, you're a fan, huh? Yeah, I can get you something. Like, he just like went, he panicked. Because he's at the wheel, and he's going off the road, bros. Like, Team Smoke is the most AstroTurf thing I think Eddie does in this whole campaign. Where he's just like, villain team. And it's like, so simple, one note as fucking possible. They are mean and smug. Wow, awesome.
Ben, any comments on a restaurant Asher during this?
Who?
Oh, a roster does something really cool.
Where Asher does something and a roster tries to follow up on it. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say follow up? I meant copy it.
Yeah. Pog Nat 20!
What is it?
Oh, yeah. Can I say, she rolls a Nat 20 on a skill check, and Eddie says the words, well, you rolled a Nat 20, so that beats somebody who didn't get a Nat 20. And I was like,
no.
Oh, excuse me. They're not playing 5th edition.
Yeah, they're not playing 5th edition. Don't worry about it.
In their system, I'm sure that makes a lot of sense.
And also, I don't think it ever came up again or mattered, so cool Nat 20, because it's just the roll you did. Also, it's just another thing of, a player just rolled a skill check without me, like, saying, yeah, roll a skill check. So I guess I don't really blame Eddie for not letting anything happen off it, because he's just like,
I think this is a good time to get into my second rant, which is...
Oh my god.
Well, we need to warm our way up into it, right? But it's the boys' time, right?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead. What the fuck are you talking about?
This is my rant on skill checks. And
Haste?
Watch it.
I fucking hate Eddie so much because every 10 fucking seconds he asks for a skill check, and it's literally like, walk up, talk to NPC, give me a perception, give me a history, give me a wit, roll me a dice, Poggy's 20, I don't know how to do anything. Also, you could actually fucking watch, please, for the love of God, don't pay for this.
Don't pay for this.
You could actually probably split it, like, more to like 60-40 or 80-20. In the camp of like the majority of skill checks don't fucking matter. In the vein of like this, you never do a skill check if it actually doesn't matter. Like, whenever you do a skill check, you have to ask yourself, unless it's a player asking to do one, then it's pretty much, yeah, you probably can do one for them. But like, if you were the GM asking for a skill check, think in your mind, do they need to do one? Like, is this just a basic thing they should know or do? Or just, like, does it require something like this? Or, if you ask them to do one, think to yourself, well, what are the options here? If they fail, what happens? If they succeed, what happens? If it doesn't really matter, as in, like, it gets to the same location at all, don't waste another fucking minute every single time when they start talking, being like, what'd I roll? Huh, dude, what'd I roll? Because so many of Eddie's fucking skill checks, every fucking time, just don't fucking matter, because it doesn't change anything. There's no fucking point. It's just wasting time.
There are so many times when it just does not seem to do anything, or is almost sometimes, like, forgotten.
Yeah, it's just so fucking stupid, because it feels like it just hurts the pace of literally everything, because you could be talking to an NPC, having a conversation, then we stop for 2 minutes to roll a fucking dice, and it doesn't fucking matter. Like, Eddie, are you telling me, if I didn't roll that 11, if I rolled like a 9... you weren't going to give me the information, and I guess I'd have to go dick around for another 20 minutes to find it some other way. No,
that's what he wants.
No, you're going to tell me about the Taskmaster here, because you're either going to tell me here, or I guess we just fuck around for another 25 minutes to find it. Like, what the fuck, Eddie? Like, what? If this fucking guy was intimidated, did I just have to start cutting him? Like, also, hey, Opal, why didn't you intervene when I was about to fucking gut your DJ like a fish?
Maybe she's too busy ogling her young...
He's not a huntsman.
Runt. Yeah, I don't... Oh yeah, he shouldn't be in here. He's not a huntsman.
Okay, someone...
No, it's psychotic. It really is. And I wanna take a brief aside to do my episode. I'll probably have to do this every episode at some point, where I refer to the RWBY wiki. Because this one, I use this as a counterpoint to make sure I didn't miss anything in the episode. And I find this really fascinating that the RWBY wiki editors who watch the Grimm Campaign are clearly not really paying attention either. Asher tips her to the table. As he does, the door to the Skillful opens as 4 noisy people barge in with smug attitude, calling themselves Team Smoke. The group pompously offers to pay for Phoenix's tab.
Are you fucking for real?
That is not...
What?
The wiki writes that they say they offered to pay his tab, and then Phoenix and Pike, like, approach them because of that, and ask why they're paying his tab.
That's like the opposite of what happened.
Well, honestly, it's not... That wasn't their intent at the start, but they did end up buying expensive drinks for Pike.
For Pike, randomly!
I didn't understand what he was going for there.
It's because it's his birthday. They respect birthdays.
I can respect it.
I think the idea is Eddie wants to be like, they flash cash, but I don't know.
I thought he was going to buy the expensive drink and pour it on
him.
Yeah, that would be based.
I thought he was gonna have like a Yakuza moment where someone like gets a drink at a club, pours it on him, or smashes it and goes, yeah, like in every Yakuza game. God, I fucking love Yakuza. Alright, boys. That was my brief aside, because we are into the topic of this first half of the episode, I'm sure. This will go on for a minute or two. It's time to talk about something. And this scene, as this encounter is happening and is getting a little more confrontational with Phoenix Nemean, talking to these guys, getting a little threatening with them, talking about why they're saying they'll pay for their food. He steps up to him to try and intimidate him, and Pike Wright decides to step in front of him to help intimidate them with his semblance!
Oh, yes, dude.
Oh, no. Who wants to talk about Fate's Hand? Pike Wright's semblance.
I don't know if I can. I kind of still... I wanted, like, in my notes, I wrote down, like, I should do, like, a funny thing where I talk about how stupid this is statistically, and then I went, no, it's not worth it. Listen, it's really bad. It's really dumb. And I just... His reasoning, like, I hate to be this guy, but you honestly kind of need to hear Carrie's reasoning to understand just how absurd this sounds. Like, us explaining it could not do it justice. It sounds so absurd. If you've ever played a D20 system, especially.
Yes.
It's just like, what? Oh, I will say this, though.
Yes.
I have to give Carrie credit for this. He said that I wanted to have one person on the team have a passive semblance, and I was like, you know what? Fair. That's fair, Carrie.
Okay.
That's fair. It's a gay semblance. It's a gay semblance, though.
Let me quote this a little more accurately to make you maybe say it's not fair. Eddie and Carrie, like, both pog about this semblance. They think it's so cool. Because they say this semblance isn't for combat. But that doesn't make sense. Because it can be used in combat, I'm pretty sure, explicitly. I looked at the character sheet. There's nothing that says it couldn't be. But maybe they meant only skill checks. Okay, weird that they're insistent on this. I remember a long time ago in the series talked about... this was before, of course, they changed their mind on this. I think this was in Volume 4. They talked, or 5, where they talked about their excitement for, like, Arthur, Watts, or Whitley. Because these are characters in RWBY who don't fight. And they thought that was the coolest shit ever. These guys have this idea that, like, not immediately throwing a fireball instantly makes something cooler. I don't understand this philosophy they have. It's such, like, a childish understanding of, like, a character doesn't have to be strong to be a strong influence on the story. Going back to, dude, isn't it cool how he's not a fighter in a series of fighters? Hits blunt. Damn, I'm fucking clever.
Holy shit.
So they're trying to fill the same niche. And we haven't really said what Fate's Hand does. So lore-wise, Fate's Hand is the concept that Pike can look into himself and communicate or, like, hint up with a wavelength of a sensation that is Fate's guiding hand that can lead him towards a direction he wants to follow, like a feeling he gets and he goes with it. Which is, like... So, like, presumably, they say it's passive, but every time he uses it, it's active, so it's not passive. That's just wrong. Like, Pike is described as having to look within himself to activate it. Like, Pike doesn't... No. It's not like bad luck where Crow randomly has things happen. They say that Pike has to focus on it. So, there is a detail that apparently... I don't remember when this will come up, but they said Pike, it didn't always work this way. So maybe it used to be just like Crow's semblance where you'd get random luck or bad luck. But it's such a weird idea. A causality semblance is such a bad idea from a writing standpoint or playing standpoint. Playing standpoint because it's just haha memes. Writing standpoint because it's so lazy. You can just always... Like, you need to be good to make this semblance not sound cringe. And Carrie is never equipped for something of that requirement. But mechanically, the only thing this semblance does is Carrie can activate for the aura cost and roll basically a d12. But what he's really rolling is a d3, because he's just rolling for segments in thirds. Ranging from, if you roll the low segments, the result is bad. If you roll the middle segments, it's neutral. And if you roll the high segments, it's really good to resolve this situation. Whew.
Okay, but here's the thing. His reasoning, and again, I will say, me explaining this does not do it justice. He says, well, yeah, you know how, like, on a regular d20, a 1 is, like, really bad, and a 20 is pog. But in the middle, it's just kind of like, whatever. So, like, I just condense it down to a d12.
No, specifically he says, and in the middle is the 2 to 19. Which, I don't know, it just makes me laugh. Because it's so stupid.
It is so infantile. Like, this is... I hate to sound like this, but this is like... Are you literally, like, actually stupid, Carrie? Like, I don't know how you can understand something so poorly. Like, his idea is so embarrassingly, like... the only things on this dice are 20 and 1, and I don't care about the middle. Like, what?
That's a bit strange.
This is literally, I have only listened to epic Reddit D&D stories told on YouTube by voice actor, man. Like, this is I only know about Sir Barrington, the experience of playing D&D.
Oh, no, dude. Don't throw shade like that, please.
Like, that's what it is, though, right? Like, it's so fucked up. I hate the semblance.
I don't know. I had this thought while you were explaining this, where in their testing phases, if there were any, let's
claim there were. They claim.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
They claim there were in the podcast.
100% at one point, his semblance was just wild magic.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, probably.
100% at one point. Literally, what is it fucking called in wild magic? It's called Tides of Chaos.
Ben, they were using their own original system, but no relation.
Come on, Ben. This isn't 5th edition or anything.
Like, if you weren't recording this, watch it.
He does this to me all the time, folks. Don't worry.
It's so... Like, we are now seeing all of their semblances, and what a variety.
That leaves us something wanting a little bit.
So Noah, what do you kick or cringe? Fate's hand.
It's really cringe. It's really lame. In a tabletop setting, is anyone looking forward to a player or a DM having a character that has a semblance like this? Like,
no.
They were too lazy in a structured show where they wrote things to really remind people of Crow's semblance working. Like, they had a couple jokes where Crow would break a table. I'm like, that should happen way more. Like, I like that, like, detail of Crow. Like, but they forgot that it should be affecting people around him. And then they literally wrote a character in Atlas to counteract it with his good luck semblance to make it so they didn't have to remember to make things unlucky around Crow. Like, dude. And to be in a free-form, free RP player interaction game like D&D, to have a semblance like this in either party's hand is such a bad idea.
Oh god!
Even as an NPC, it's just annoying if the DM's like, yeah, they just got a luck semblance. Wait, I don't know.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
Does Crow's semblance still, like, get counteracted by Clover's pin that he carries?
It necessarily doesn't. Like, there's no proof that it does. There's a moment where something... I remember it... Fuck, I don't remember what the exact moment, but I remember at one point it did something that was, like, lucky, and I think that was just, like... I don't think that was actually indicating that the pin is helping Crow not be unlucky. I think it was just like a Clover moment. I think it was literally the writer room when people will PogChamp when Captain America picks Mjolnir up, basically. Like, I think that was all that was. The idea that a semblance lingers and affects it... cringe. Maybe they're trying to do a thing like his semblance has better control over it because he has this memento that helps him focus and control his semblance. I could see that being something. I don't think the RWBY writers really get into it, though. I was shocked when they showed Ren get a semblance upgrade. I thought they literally forgot they established that, bros.
I mean, yeah.
God,
Fuck, man.
Okay. We're still on episode 1, by the way.
Yeah, we need to keep going. We're almost done, though. We're literally almost done.
So I'll try.
Honestly, second episode, really nothing happened.
So I'll try and speed us. I'll try and speed us through this a bit. Mostly to just like pick up the pace a bit. So what happens here is Pike uses someone's he gets the bad outcome out of his 1d3. It's actually D12, but it's in 3 segments.
Yeah, so it's a D3 in functionality. Don't worry.
He tried to step in front of Phoenix, who was starting to have a confrontation with Syl, the team leader of Team Smoke.
He flips his hair.
But since he rolled bad, he accidentally trips and pushes Phoenix into Syl, who pushes Syl. And Syl trips over a little bit and kind of flips his hair. So Team Smoke gets mad, and they decide to start fighting. At this point, Arastra continues to do nothing. As Team
20, she should know what exactly is happening.
As Team Smoke uses some of their semblances that are unnamed at current time.
They go ghost. A big smoke cloud comes out.
Yeah, basically, the room starts to go dark, and they go... smoke comes out of the big fat guy, his weapon. And then some rope ties up Pike from one of the other ones. And
which we later learn is actually Gwen webbing him to the floor.
Yeah, Gwen RNA is actually a member of Team Smoke.
Yeah, Mina Lavender just has Gwen's semblance based.
She dyed her hair black and
got him.
Decided to become really cringe.
Mina Lavender, Gwen's daughter? No, that's not how semblances work. Get your brain off My Hero Academia, everyone. That'd be cringe.
But yeah, so they begin to get into a fight that is immediately stopped by Opal using her AoE head rush semblance.
Yeah, what do you guys think of head rush?
I think it's fun.
Is that what it's actually called? Let me go.
No, I don't
kind of like Opal's
I don't think he names it. He just describes it in detail as like the blood rush. It's
blood rushing to your head.
Yeah, it's blood rushing to your head. Like, you know, Eddie describes it as if you got up from a chair too quickly and something like that. Like, you know, kind of some vertigo. Like you're not really all there.
Yeah, like stuns and disoriented.
And I think that's a fine semblance.
Yeah,
you know, it's fine for what she does.
I question though, does it work against Grimm? If not, it sounds kind of shitty. And if she was like, you know, a huntsman, you know, hanging out with the Grim Reaper on that level ish,
yes,
sounds like you'd want a semblance that's not dog shit against Grimm.
Exactly what I had written down. Thank you, Liam. I said I will give the benefit of the doubt and say that. I won't say it doesn't work on Grimm, because we have no proof to know how it would affect them. I would personally say, yeah, of course something like that could disorient Grimm. In which case, pretty cool semblance. You could think of a really interesting way Opal utilized in the field. No, you gotta fucking love that in RWBY, every fucking semblance needs people to wave their fucking hands to activate it. I think that's embarrassing. They describe Opal throwing her hands out like she's fucking Avatar or a Jedi. Why can't Opal just squint and like have like a effect around her to show that she's activated?
Yeah, it's like she's trying to cast fucking sleep or something.
Exactly, and I immediately went. And this is what I'm saying. I immediately went. This just sounds like a D&D spell. That's cringe. So I know it's such a small detail to nitpick.
Color spray.
It's color spray. I know that's kind of a small detail to nitpick, but you have to really imagine, like, that's so lame. Like, imagine Opal's supposed to be this badass huntsman, but, like, you just see her out on the field of Grimm, and she goes, and, like, they all get dizzy, and someone else has to come kill them. It's like, it's the same thing. Like, they insisted on making fucking, what's his fucking name? Dog Boy, Marrow. Do the fucking, like, snap finger, stay! For his overpowered semblance. I'm like, that made sense, because, one, it's overpowered, and two, it's, like, a thematic thing for, like, you're snapping, telling a dog to stay. That's the whole point of semblance. I understood why that one had it. But why's fucking Opal wave her hands around? Like, Blake shouldn't have to do, like, a ninja hand dart for a shadow clone to come out, because she doesn't, because it'd be embarrassing.
Like,
but there's this new insistence on newer semblances to have weird bullshit like this.
Why doesn't Opal? Why don't you just be like, okay, y'all feel like you're literally have vertigo, and why doesn't Opal just like walk out like cleaning glass? She's like, all right, get the fuck out of my bar.
Yeah.
You don't need to be. You don't have to be like, oh, you like. Are your players so retarded they can't be like, oh, we must have all just got vertigo at the same time? Like, you don't need to literally have Opal going, I cast color spray at 5th level.
So yeah, it's pretty fucking, like, it's a fine semblance, but like Eddie really, as Eddie does with all things, he just shoots himself in the foot. He shoots himself in the foot and just doesn't do it in a good way. Like, he doesn't do it good. He just fucks it up in some way.
Yeah.
So everyone's kicked out of the bar. Team Smoke are like, we'll be back. And then literally smoke cloud out of there.
Yeah, they smoke cloud out. Opal tells them, okay, you guys fuck off now, but hey, that nice bottle Team Smoke bought earlier, we kind of didn't cover it, because who gives a fuck? Yeah, here you go. Frozen to free fancy alcohol. Yeah, now leave. I don't know why she gave it to them for free. I guess she likes them. As they're leaving, worst moment of the episode, Arastra looks back as an epic girl power moment with Opal, where Arastra, quote Laura, gives her a look, a knowing look, and that's it. And Opal, Eddie goes, and Opal, she gives it back, understanding, but still firm that you have to leave. Arastra, shut the fuck up. In character, Laura, your character was aware of everything that's happening, just stood there with a fucking thumb up her ass, doing nothing. Fucking picking lice out of your fucked up faunus feet. Like, probably like leg up across the leg, licking it and like fanning it like a cat, like an autistic person in the back of the bar. And then you have the audacity to be like, I'll characterize my character. They think everyone's cringe and don't talk. Oh, cool character type. You're really having some fun fucking interactions.
Second goddamn episode we just fucking ended on, like, our roster just saying some shit. Even though we didn't actually end there. They left the bar. No. They left the bar.
We end on an awesome scene.
They left the bar and they start looking for an inn.
No, hold on. I want to hand this off to Liam. But I do want to note, as they're leaving, Eddie tries to cut in and be like, so what are you guys doing? And they literally talk over them.
Oh, yeah, no.
To have a moment so they can characterize themselves.
I literally wrote this down. Eddie can't speak Lamau.
Yeah. I'm so proud of these players for talking over their GM who's trying to immediately cut them off at the pass and be like, well, keep adventuring? Because they're like, no, Eddie, we want to talk about what just happened. We're not just going to go back in the party and do the RPG walk behind Phoenix as we go through town. We want to hear what happened. Liam, would you like to describe this awesome discussion and what's going on during it?
This is when I got my dinner and didn't take notes during this part. So,
are you kidding me?
Ben,
you're up.
I kind of forget.
Ben, you're up. In Quest.
Now... Wait, are we in episode 4?
No,
we're at the end of episode 3 when Phoenix goes to look for an inn. Would you like to describe this epic interaction?
Dude, if you think I was fucking paying
okay, I'll fucking do it.
Wait.
Was he looking for faunuses?
No, not yet. We're not in episode 4.
Yet.
God. Okay.
Split your notes between episodes.
Okay.
I did. I just didn't take notes in this part.
Okay. So, Phoenix...
I just didn't think this was noteworthy.
Phoenix starts walking off while Chad is trying to talk about what happened. And Phoenix is having fucking none of it. It's like, I don't fucking give a shit. I'm gonna go find an inn. And while this is happening, Pike is like looking at him nervously, being like, guys, he's walking away.
This is awesome moment where they leave and Phoenix goes, I want to look for an inn. And Eddie's like, yeah, give me a roll. Like, yeah, you might know where one. You don't know where one is. He's like, okay, Eddie. I'm gonna go walk around and look for an inn. And Chad's like, yo, guys, hold on. I got some info in there and all of that. Here, I'm pulling up the scroll. Phoenix, you want to hear that? Chris goes, Phoenix is walking away. He's going to an inn. And Chad is fucking, like, stunned. And, like, I'm gonna keep talking. Phoenix! And he's like, no, walk for an inn. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell these two about it, I guess. And then, as he is finishing this discussion, the editor does a master stroke because Chad is talking this awkward sentence and he's fumbling for words and does like this long pause as he's trying to finish a way to figure out how to say this. And the editor cuts to just Chad and is slowly zooming in on him as he stumbles, pauses, stares awkwardly, and goes, yeah. And then zooms in on him further as he says, yeah. The editor hates working on this show. He literally does the funniest joke of the episode, just pointing out how awkwardly Chad speaks by zooming in on him slowly, and it made me fucking die. I'm so sorry, Chad, but you were not based in this moment. You literally got owned by the poor guy who has to edit this shit. God, it was funny.
You can only imagine how much fucking footage they actually have.
Yeah. Last note of relevance in the episode that we don't really have to talk about, but I want to keep up on details. They do find it, and eventually he goes, like, Ashley, like, wakes up in the middle of the night and is like, oh, that's weird. And then goes back to bed, and then they go up the next day, and the weird innkeeper's like, yeah, your friend came looking for you. Oh, yeah, there's some guy asking for you guys. I didn't tell him where you were, because I'm not literally an idiot.
Oh, my God, Eddie.
Yeah.
This happens again, and it's so fucking stupid.
It's awesome. It's so awesome.
Yeah,
we're gonna get to that.
Yeah,
we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, Eddie, beat me over the head with the plot stick. Don't let me ever do anything.
Plots. Eddie plays an interesting game of beating the players with a plot stick, but also grabbing it away before they can grab onto it. It's a very interesting
it's
DMing
like
method.
you beat them with the plot stick, then when they try to engage, you start acting coy, like a fucking schizophrenic person.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys ready to get into the next episode?
I got one more thing. At the end of episode 3, when they're talking about the people who are looking for them, or something, I remember Carrie said the line that I thought was very funny. He said, I hate to say it since it breaks a really long streak for me, but I don't think we made any friends yesterday. And I think that is the best fucking line, and I love it. It is...
I think that's the only time. I think this is one of the only episodes. I think this episode is like, oh, I think I know where Pike's direction's going. And that's like the capstone to be like, okay, like, Pike's kind of obnoxious, but he does have some okay lines once in a while. And you think to yourself, like, you know what? If Carrie shapes up with this character, with moments like that, and a party dynamic of Asher and Phoenix, who can kind of work different angles with him, I could like Pike. Unfortunately,
next episode.
Unfortunately,
the next episode is when Pike comes out of his cocoon.
Ben or Liam, do you guys want to segue us into episode 4 and tell us what the titles are?
Yeah.
Down.
Okay, I got the titles. I gotta get the titles here, dude. Okay. So it is named Curious Cats and Friends, but the guy who makes the title cards did the hilarious joke of new scroll, who dis?
Why?
Isn't that really fucking funny?
By
the way, that meme has been dead for at least 5 years. At least.
Hey, if there's one thing about Rooster Teeth, they like to go. Hey, you know what? Maybe Rooster Teeth just
pile
trying to
drive shit into the ground.
Yeah, run jokes into the ground, but hey, they're breaking away from their other tradition of going for things that are still young, so good for them.
Whoa, what are you trying to imply?
Eddie addresses the party as adventurers at the start of this episode. Very cool, Eddie.
Oh,
what a god! What a god!
Oh my god!
What a god! Don't even.
Awesome.
Don't
Not
even. He's a god.
Oh my god! Wait. What the fuck?
What?
What a god tier.
What?
Is Blake having a stroke? You alright, dude?
What?
I think I watched episode 5 by mistake.
Oh no!
What? How? Literally how?
Dude.
I don't know.
Hold on, make a note. Make a note here. I want to ask you some questions.
No, dude.
A few moments later.
Okay, so as you were saying, Ben, episode 4. Start us off.
Okay, so episode 4, I think we actually got a little bit into it. I'm pretty sure this episode does start with them in the inn, right?
It does.
Like, with someone asking,
yeah,
like, oh, yeah, your friend was here.
One little detail before it starts. Chris decides he's doing the recap again. He decides because I like to think that it's because he literally actually doesn't remember things. He does this weird attempt at like a semi-in-character recap where Phoenix is hungover and recounting things. And it's so fucking awkward and weird, and he's like glasses on. It starts the session off with really weird Chris energy where he feels like antagonistic and like doesn't want to like comply with things. And I think this is because of his continued quest to try and get on his own plot line. Also, Eddie misremembers in the recap. He says Daft gives him the coin and is immediately called out on it. And so, nice, Eddie. That's awesome. Forget immediately what happened last session. Good sign of a headmaster. As they are going, the plan for the episode is they're recounting what they did last time a little bit and are going to the Hedges, which is a section of Mistral and Kushinachi, which is like a marketplace, like slummy, sort of like building to building, small walkways with like stalls and shops and shit is the idea. When they're talking about getting there, it's very easy to get lost in them, apparently, because they're very thick and like vast. That's why they're called the Hedges, I think. They're talking about how they'll manage it. Asher's like, yeah, I've been here before. Pike says he's the muscle, and Carrie does this pose. Very funny. What happens? What's the first thing they do when they arrive at the first stall? What happens? Who wants to take the fucking ball from me?
I'll do it. Fuck it. Okay. So, our barbarian wants to get some food, and our thief, or rogue, wants to go steal some food.
Awesome. I instantly... This episode has me in pain. It is the most embarrassing shit ever. What do I say? Literally go, give me that turkey leg, and goes, I'm gonna steal a turkey leg. While Pike and Arastra are just forgetting to play, because they're not D&D archetypes, I guess. Cool scene. This episode's theme is meandering and confusion. This episode is basically a slow breakdown of the players begging Eddie to show them a fucking plot hook and figure out where they're supposed to go. Last episode, Daft mentioned at one point that the Grimm that attacked the thing seemed to have come from the northern like mountain and like caves and like hilltops where they do mining. And I think Eddie thought the players should have picked up on that then. But they didn't.
To be fair, it's been a week.
It's been a week.
And then
it was a small detail, and Eddie's very bad at shining spotlights on things because he's scared it'll be too obvious. This entire episode is, hey, where do we go? This leads to one of the most uncomfortable and meandering episodes to date. I'm sure there'll be more in the future, don't worry, but it's awesome. Eventually, they make their way to a dust shop. A really shitty shop that is selling dust in open vats of dust. That seems like a horrible idea, by the way.
Yes, I had this in note.
Yeah.
Dust shop? What the fuck is it open? Is it just in a bag or something?
No.
That doesn't make any practical sense at all.
Liam, don't you watch? Zora walks in, picks up the cursed dust, and it's fine.
He literally acts like it's in a tub, like a spice tub, the dust, just in the store. That is how it's described.
Yeah, it's like, you ever go to a
aren't they in tubes and shit, like in episode 1?
They are. This is a shitty version.
Well, no, you ever go to a candy shop and they have a barrel of gummy worms?
Yes, it's like a supply store. It is so baffling that you would sell something dangerous in a substance like that. I guess the idea is, whoa, edges are shitty. My idea is, haha, that's stupid. Why is old dust? I don't know. I guess they can't afford the rock or crystal variant of dust. I don't know. I don't fucking know, bros. But who that is a very important character is introduced here, guarding this store.
Oh wait, gonna also mention.
Sure.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because Chad tries to once again steal something from the store after he failed stealing food outside.
Yes, love that.
Dust.
Love it.
So, just reach his hand and grab a fistful of sand and put it in his pocket.
Also, I'd like to say, I don't think they're ever keeping track of money because I never hear any numbers. So it's
no.
He's literally just...
They're going by One Piece rules.
Basically. but they do make it sound like they're keeping track of dust.
I guess.
They do.
Maybe they just hard fucking cut every time a number is said.
Or they're just trying to be flavorful. I can't tell.
Yeah,
I'll give them the credit of assuming maybe they're just trying to, in character, be like, oh, I need more dust.
I do like the line when the shopkeeper gets mad being like, I don't serve felons, or I don't serve criminals, and then Astro's just scoffs and it's like, yeah, you wouldn't fucking serve anyone if you don't serve criminals here.
Yeah, you'd run out of fucking business if you didn't serve criminals. Fair note. Once again, Chad doing more world building for Eddie than Eddie does. There's a great moment later when they're leaving these stores after causing commotion where Asher is getting nervous and is like, guys, please, we are going to be murdered. You guys need to stop being retarded. Please. Please keep it contained. And I really like this angle that Asher takes. Like this, sort of reluctant leader archetype of helping, because he's familiar with the place and he seems confident stuff.
Yeah. I can't wait
breaking down and kind of taking this role within the
four of them. To be the team leader.
Yeah, and Asher is kind of you're seeing the burgeoning of it. Where although he has his own faults and he does his dumb rogue routine, Asher is kind of looking out for people consistently. There's another moment with Pike here that we'll talk about. Where
he really inspires loyalty and a reliance on from people like a roster who kind of look to him for what to do.
Oh yeah, I mean consistently a roster is kind of checking okay, what's Asher's idea? Even Laura is role-playing that people are looking at Asher for guidance. It's a natural thing that's boiling up and building up. Right, but yeah, Taupe. Who wants to take Taupe?
Please, for the love of God, someone else.
Okay, Liam,
Ben, you just
oh my God.
We'll go together.
Okay, let me explain the gotcha shit real quick, because I fucking hate gotcha fags. No offense. But, listen. They go to a gotcha machine. Literally, they're playing, fuck, what's that game that had the gotcha machine?
Oh, you were skipping over the most important line in the campaign.
I got it.
Yeah,
what?
All right, they walk in the store, and I forget the context, and
there's a young kid there.
There's a young little boy there named Pope.
He's described as an athletic-looking 13-year-old.
Yes, and the shopkeeper says, "Boy, do something," right?
Mm-hmm. No. Phoenix looks at the kid with the sword, kind of scoffs, and goes, "Nice kid, boy," or "Nice sword, boy." And Tope goes, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah, and then Carrie, bless his heart, says, "Well, I don't have a sword, but thanks."
Because
Not realizing, yes, saying not realizing that he wasn't talking to him, because Carrie says, "I'm the boy here."
Yeah, he describes it as, I mean mug the kid. You give him a mean-looking face, because the kid is described as kind of like scowling at these guys, trying to look tough. So Carrie takes the angle, well, I scowl back, trying to look tough also. And he looks up at him, I mean mug the kid, and go, "I'm the boy around here." And we have just witnessed the actual character of Pike Wright. Birth of Psycho Pike. This is the Psycho Pike awakening.
This is who Pike Wright really is.
Yeah,
and we will now have a count
crazy
going.
Person.
I will be keeping track of moments of Psycho Pike because I do not think this is stressed hard enough.
You know, I'm looking at my notes. I didn't take many. I wish I put more notes up for Carrie, but in these notes somewhere I have Carrie's autism is slowly growing on me when you can manage to keep it in character. I don't know what I was on when I wrote that note.
No, Liam's gonna end up liking the show since he's listening to it for the first time.
Oh, God.
Without me calling it shitty in his ear.
I hate Carrie with a fucking passion.
Yeah.
But God, sometimes Pike Wright's
reminds me of you,
lines
Realms.
It literally does, probably. Because they're so absurd. They're so absurd. I laugh at them, Liam. I agree. Carrie proposes that he wants to go up to these little gachapon machines. Gachapons, of course, in Japan, we all know where gachas come from. It's those little fucking toy machines with a little thing you pull out. You get a little action figure or something. And Carrie's like, of course, Pike writes into gachapon. So he goes to buy one, open up the capsule. Does he buy one for Tope, or does Tope just end up buying one?
No, he buys one for Tope and gives it
to him. To show that he's the boy around.
Yeah, he throws it to him as a power play.
Right.
And then he follows up with the other power play.
And Carrie literally bullying Eddie. Literally, I love this move. I don't even think this is a douchey move, normally, but it is, because Eddie's an idiot. Carrie does I open it up, and he goes, Eddie, that's your time to tell me what's inside it. Eddie seems shocked that he's not being told what's in it, and Eddie panics. And in this moment, we see the creativity of Eddie fucking Rivers, the worst fucking writer RWBY has, as he thinks, what would be cool to be sold in a gachapon? And his answer is models of Huntsman academies. Eddie, are you doing okay? Eddie, what do you fucking mean? No, Eddie, no. Little miniature replicas of Huntsman academies are not a cool prize. That's the only thing you can think of. Really, man? And I want to talk more about Tope, because Tope introduces something very, very, very not noticed here that will become relevant later. He talks about, he really likes, I'm trying to remember if they gave the primary school a name even. But he just... I don't think they have.
I don't think he named it.
I think it might get a name. No, it never gets a name. Okay.
He did mention something fucked up.
Yes, this is what I'm getting into.
What? Yeah. Do you want to say it?
I can say it unless you want to, but I have big thoughts on this.
Yeah. Let me intro it, then give your thoughts. So, Tope mentioned something fucking weird, which is that
his favorite professor.
Yeah, his favorite professor does not like Alabaster, the city guard captain we met. And instead,
Castle guard captain.
Castle guard captain. Instead is organizing Taupe and some other students and people around town to form a resistance. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, he says Takaya, character we'll know later, who will be an ally in the future, is organizing his primary school students, which is the schools before Huntsman Academy. Pike is 13, organizing them into an official.
Taupe is 13.
Taupe is 13, not Takaya. Sorry. A official, organized resistance, which is a very weird word to use, to protect the city, as the police and Alabaster don't do enough. And that he is assigned here to guard this store for his uncle because he is part of the resistance. I
have several questions.
I have so much to say. This is what I meant earlier when I went on my little rant of, I cannot understand, why they have such a grim, modus of operandi for how shitty They are literally making child soldiers. I know that's part of RWBY's appeal in the Huntsman Academy, indoctrinating young people to go fight shit. But it's never been, a man who's teaching people is grooming kids into a secret police, I guess not so secret, but, a armed militia in his town. And something about that, especially because Taupe is 13, but he's played like he's fucking 8. It's a very shocking detail that Eddie just busts out real fucking casually here.
Can everyone just kind of skirts by it?
Can I also mention something? Is that Taupe is impressed by Asher because Asher says he's a huntsman, and he asks Asher, "What are you guys doing here?" And Asher responds with something along the lines of, "Our mission is to find out what's happening with the guilds." Guilds being the families, the fucking underground people. And I just fucking out loud just screamed out, "Is it?
Is it?
Is that your mission?"
That doesn't make any sense.
That's not what their mission is.
Why would Huntsman care?
I literally, no one, once again, Crow has given Huntsman a job to investigate odd happenings in a town.
No. This was only for one guy. This was supposed to be one guy.
One guy was supposed to go to Kuchinashi. We can't forget that. This was an error that 4 of them showed up. Was supposed to go to Kuchinashi and find out what's the deal with these weird Grimm activity ostensibly, but it was kind of still vague on if it's about Grimm, just weird activity.
To be fair, I think if they just sent Asher, he'd have been made much more progress.
You're right. He probably would have just. Well, I could get into my fan fiction of that later when we introduce to his backstory.
When we meet them eventually.
But yeah, God, it is another point to show that Asher really has Chad really did make sure his backstory was good for this campaign. It really pushes him into that guiding position. Even the most active player in investigating the most relevant NPCs, this will happen again in the mansion and stuff. Asher is the vocal point. He is fills that main character slot. Unfortunately, you want games to kind of actually be split, but normally someone does step up to kind of drives things, and you want all your players to be working different angles. And Phoenix and Pike do pretty okay at different angles, but Asher clearly is the one who has a very solid hand on getting this. Even the kid. It is funny to me that Carrie rejects the easy answer of saying "I'm a huntsman too" to Taupe. That is a little bit of character building. That Pike doesn't see that as a valid reason to impress Taupe. He's trying to fight him on his own level. But yeah. It is just another weird, baffling part of this conversation that happens, where he just says that's their mission. I also think when you be don't you want to not tell a kid that? Wouldn't you be suspicious of I don't want this kid to be talking about this, but whatever. And I do like that Blake mentioned earlier that all the characters just brushed by that resistance shit. None of the players reacted to that. So I don't know if they're just not paying attention or don't care. Very interesting. Here is the first act of Psycho Pike. He was born, but here's the first act. Pike Wright canonically attempts to Indiana Jones swap rob a child with a literal smile on his face. Pike describes that he's like to go up to Taupe and switch their gachapons, because Pike got Beacon, but he wants Haven Academy, the school he went to. And he goes to try and steal this from Taupe while he's distracted.
I thought he got Shade.
No.
He got a Shade Academy.
No, Pike got Beacon and Taupe got Shade.
Yeah, because then Asher
that's
said,
what
isn't
that what I said? Is that what I said?
You said.
You said.
I thought I said. Oh, sorry.
No,
yeah. Pike got.
Beacon.
Is it Shade?
Kid got Shade. Yeah, it's because that's
Yeah. Pike got Beacon.
That's
he
how.
wants
Asher said, I went to Shade.
That's how he mentioned. That's how Asher
okay.
mentioned he was a huntsman to Taupe.
Right. Oh, okay.
Fake fans.
Literally a fake fan right here. My bad.
Take away his hat.
Yeah, I'm taking off my Grimm Campaign fat. He does say that as he's approaching, Asher can see him, and Asher tries to give him this like no, and Pike smiles and goes yes as he tries to rob a child. Pretty awesome, cool direction, Carrie. Well, on its own, this might be a wacky.
Hold on. Chad goes along with it. He doesn't approve of it, but he is like, because Carrie goes, well, he's distracting Toph, so I get advantage, right?
Yeah. Chad has Asher appear to be dismissive of this idea.
He is like, oh, come on, man.
Obviously, it's not like moralizing about it, because Asher wouldn't really be like that big about it. He's just like, dude, what are you doing? I'm trying to talk to this kid. Don't fuck with him, basically. But Pike is not the character who should be doing something like this, right, bros? This is just a one-off moment.
What character here would steal from a child, especially over like a fucking gachapon?
He just wants
the that he gave the child himself moments before.
That's psychotic.
And then he goes even more psycho about what he does next.
So, you go, Liam. You're up.
He gets caught fumbling the placement of the replacement gachapon into his hand, and then, being caught, drops them on the floor, and then freezes, and hands him both of them. Because as Carrie said, he's socially awkward, so he gives him both and then runs away.
Can I also mention, as Pike is doing this stupid shit after he gets caught, Taupe, the 13-year-old in a primary academy, is fumbling to draw his sword. And can I just say, Clara, yes, tripped and fell all the fucking time when she was at Kai Night. But no, really, Noah's right. Eddie plays him like he's fucking 8 years old. This kid's 13, he could probably draw a sword. He's probably able to draw the sword he's carrying.
Eddie acts like the sword being in not great condition means it's like impossible to pull out. So I don't know what he thinks the sword's condition is.
You know, it's because everything to Eddie is a fucking haha. So it's like the kid sword jams because the bullets got caught.
Yeah, probably. No, it's probably just a normal sword. Why the fuck would it be a cool weapon? That's not how RWBY works anymore.
It is a normal sword. You know, it just
it shoots out the tip.
Yeah, like
really creative.
The tip opens up and fires off a little bullet.
Yeah, it's really creative design. The sword, because it looks like it could also be a stick.
Oh god. I also.
Also Taupe is. Oh, sorry, go.
No, go.
Taupe is also screaming thief.
Yeah,
which is funny because Asher got caught already, and he's like, "No, I'm not the thief. It's him." Like there's this like funny moment. Eddie's trying to pull back from Pike's weird, surreal shit, and I love that. Carrie's just like, yeah, he's awkward, so he basically like shits himself, puts it in his hand, and runs away like a Looney Tune. And Taupe has this moment where Eddie accurately portrays how absolutely ridiculous Carrie's play is, where he's like, he bought it for me, and then he tried to steal it from me, and now he gave him both, but he tried to give me the other one, and now he gave it to me, and then he basically just has Taupe repeat what happened to prove to Carrie, like, this was the most dumb scene ever. What's happening?
And Asher literally looks at him wide-eyed, just being like, I've known that guy for like 3 days, and I don't fucking know what the fuck he just did.
It's like, I don't know that long, but now it's weird.
But Ben, can you tell me your feelings on all the Looney Tunes shit that's happened?
Oh, well, like I said in the last Epic Safari we had, Pike is a Season 1 and 2 RWBY character. He is into the Looney Tune shit. He loves it. He would actually just fit in as Looney Tune. Pike is an idiot, frankly.
Pike is just a Ruby Chibi character.
Like, from now on, guys, we're not gonna probably say that much about Pike, because really, this is where the psycho stuff just, like...
Yeah.
It's weird that Carrie, instead of latching onto the kind of funny stuff he did in the bar, and now he latches onto stealing from a child and I'm socially awkward. Because I guarantee you, you know what? I'm not going to get into the man himself. However, I will say that Carrie Shawcross does not strike me as someone who, I don't know. Does anyone here think that Carrie is socially awkward in real life?
From Oh No Extroverts. Not like me. Yeah. Carrie is
Oh No Extroverts worked only because of the timing, frankly.
Yeah. Carrie just doesn't know how to handle things, I think. And I don't think he feels comfortable playing a character that doesn't have a weird, ironic, or, like, psycho twinge to it. Like, I don't think he can play a sincerely naive, but, like, not completely, like, psycho character who's figuring things out. I literally think he can't handle the stress of playing that character too long without making him do wacky D&D things. I literally think he cannot just straight face do something. It has to be funny. And once again, I don't mean to attack comedy as a concept. You need your game to have humor in it, or else it's going to be really soulless. But it just feels like this is all he can do. And it's like Ben said. Pike's a different character than you go into this campaign thinking of. It's really weird. Am I the only one who made a note of this part? What Arastra's doing during the scene, or does anyone else have a note want to relay this? Because this is one of my favorite parts of the episode.
You can do it.
I didn't write anything down for this.
Okay, Arastra is still in the store. As this entire scene is them bouncing around the store, awkward in this fucking shop, right, trying to figure out where the campaign is. Arastra goes up to the cashier, the owner, or presumably Tope's uncle, and is trying to ask, like, about, hey, so, like, is there some, like, weird stuff going on? Like, we're trying to look for stuff. And he goes, like, I don't know, I run like, a store. I don't really know, lady. I like sells things. Do you want to buy something? What are you buying? What are you buying? Like he says, what are you buying? And Arastra just kind of pauses as like Eddie no sells it, and she's like, yeah, I think that's all I need from you. And he goes, yeah, okay. You want to buy something? And Arastra just pauses, and Laura goes, yeah. Arastra walks away. As
No. Incorrect. She says, I quote, I think I'd like to go outside and move on. Eddie responds, oh, okay, you do that. In character.
You do that!
As if her character just autistically said her actions out loud.
Yeah, like...
And then everyone lost it. And, I mean, it was kind of funny, but it's also like, aha, her character doesn't do anything, so he just took her doing nothing as words.
He's like, oh dear God, please be speaking out loud, Laura. I need to help your character exist. It is just such an awkward, weird fuck moment. Okay. Meanwhile...
sorry, yeah. I just saw... segueing off the fact that, like, Pike will only evolve into being more and more of a psycho from here. Laura will evolve to be this... forever of like, yeah, you like maybe you might say something at one point, but like it's never anything actually, and it's usually just something that's disregarded within a second.
That never develops.
No. These party dynamics that we're describing never fucking change. This is just what they are now.
No, it's really bad.
I mean, the only thing is like, I think Phoenix and Asher like trust each other more,
they
and that's like literally that's it.
Yeah, they squash their beef, and then like, you know,
that's an entirely character-driven detail.
Oh yeah,
which is what fucks me. It's nothing to do with either of their own like ideas of what would happen going into the game. It's something they came up with together, basically, by interacting and then finished, which is great. But the fact that they're the only ones doing anything, and Eddie doesn't realize that he should be like trying to work with people on these angles. I don't think we mentioned it, but one of Pike's dying breaths of a character moment was that he told Opal was not, this was in the last episode, I'm sorry for bringing it up now, but Opal wasn't sure if like she would bother giving information to these guys because they might just go off and die. And Pike made a point saying, I'm going to prove to you that I can, like, go off here, do work, and come back alive. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'll treat you better then if you do that. He's like, yeah, I will come back, Opal. I'll be back in a few days to prove that I'm fine. And that was like a moment he tried to have. And I was like, oh, that's like in a better thing, supported well. This could be the story of a really cool character interaction of Pike working up to this old, gruff huntress lady who eventually starts to tutor him more on how to be a huntress. If that ever happens, don't worry, it never comes up again.
No, Ian decided he wants to steal from children and be the boy. The real boy. The one true boy that we know and love. Pike fucking boy, right.
Yeah, he wants to rob children.
Yeah, I think we're done in the town?
No, in the shop, I hope you mean, but no. Blake, or Liam, go ahead.
Going to finish the taupe conversation, Asher continues to discuss and getting information about, drug gang stuff from Taupe.
Because Taupe's like, yeah, I mean, I'm like 13, but like I live here, so I know that happens.
Yeah, so he gets Taupe to be like his eyes and ears, to be on the lookout for the Taskmaster and whatnot.
Yeah, he's like a contact.
He's like, all right, I'll give you my phone number. And he gives him a phone number, and then he texts him, and he confirms that he's got the phone number. And then he leaves the scene and gives the phone back to Phoenix.
It's funny.
And it is very funny.
Because Taupe is texting annoyingly like an excited 13-year-old talking to a huntsman. And I think that was very funny. That was a well-delivered joke, Chad. Because you're like, what? Really? Asher's going to let this annoying kid have his phone number? That's surprising. Oh, it's Phoenix's. That's fucking hilarious.
And this joke does come up a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It is pretty... I like it. It's pretty funny.
It's
like I said... Oh, Liam, go ahead.
It's funny. It twists it a little bit from before.
Yeah.
And then it like adds on a whole new joke of now the phone annoying kid with someone else.
It's not derivative in how they use it, which is good. It keeps it fresh enough while still smiling at like, you've built upon something. Something this campaign has so little of that we're complimenting a joke line that continues through the first season. That's how little we can say that's good. Because like this stupid joke is one of the best things in the campaign. Yikes. Speaking of best things in campaign, Phoenix walks out to go look for White Fang memorabilia and rolls a nat 20. Pog! Dab!
Dabs! Nat 20!
Dabs! Because he gets a nat 20.
Pog.
And he sweats that his player is outmaneuvering him in his D&D experience and tells him that on your nat 20, yeah, you find a White Fang symbol spray painted on a wall. And Chris, for the next rest of the game, is grappling, or the next part of the session is grappling with this, trying to figure out how much Eddie is fucking him. Because he's like, well, is there someone hanging out there? No. Does it, like, point anywhere? No. Is it, like, mean something? No. It's like, it's just a spray paint thing on a wall. Well, does it look like graffiti, or does it look like something kind of, like, intentional and, like, meaningful? Well, I mean, it kind of looks meaningful. Quote, yeah, Phoenix. No, this is not a direct quote, but Eddie is basically being, yeah, I don't have anything for you, Phoenix. You just found a White Fang thing. That's the equivalent of what you could look for. Like,
poor fucking.
I feel so bad for Chris. I feel so bad for Chris. His backstory, clearly he expected it to be a little more relevant than nothing in the background. And there are people who have some nothing backstories, like Miss Minor. But Chris clearly cares and is interested in pursuing this and tried to make it a deal for his character. And he gets fucking pile-driven into the ground and told, no, it's never going to come up. This is Asher's story, boyo. And he just gives up after a while. I just feel so bad for him.
No, and here's the thing. I feel bad for Asher, too, because it's his story. And God, that seems painful.
Oh, yeah, that is not a good place to be in.
Miss Minor and haha, don't ask me why I went to 2 academies. Like,
literally no one did. Carrie goes, oh, wait a minute.
I guess they get off being the terrible, terrible fucking characters they are.
Gets to be some cool fucking baggage.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this is the point in the episode where I said that Asher kind of is, like, starting to lose it, being like, guys, everywhere we go, you cause problems, and we're in the fucking ghettos looking for a secret criminal organization. I don't want to be murdered while investigating this.
Yeah, he's like,
no, let him in the car, it's fine.
For the love of God.
Let him in the car. It's fine.
I'm in the car. He's like, for the love of God, guys, please keep it contained. Tuck your shirts in.
Let's go get some turkey.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was going to talk about the NPC he brings the coin to.
Okay, before we get exactly to that, I just want to describe the scene. I want to paint it for the people listening. All of the players, except for Chris, are in this like sensation of like you are feeling it in the energy and how they're talking and looking around, looking kind of like nervous. Is they're just like they're literally losing their minds, trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing, where to go, as they're wandering down like a city with boring NPCs who keep telling them to fuck off. We don't have info. As they're like, Eddie, please throw us a fucking bone. Except for Chris, who is still just going, do I see any faunus, perhaps, Eddie? Are there any faunus? Yeah, there's some faunuses around. Do any of them look like White Fang members, Eddie? No. Eddie, are there perhaps some White Fang ghettos around? No, Chris, as Aster's just like, okay, are there any... Okay, are there any suspicious-looking cloaks nearby? Is there suspicious cloaks, which means suspicious activity, like spooky-looking cloaks on the ground? This is literally word for word what he said. He is asking if there are shady cloaks anywhere, so we can find people who are doing shady things. He is begging. He's on the fucking ground. Pike is going, I'm lost. These characters are losing their fucking minds. And I am just wondering, 40 minutes into this episode, what was Eddie fucking thinking? He has given them nothing to work with. Eddie at one point has text them and forgets what his voice is, so he does a Kermit the Frog voice. Because Eddie doesn't know what's going on. Nothing is...
I love the Kermit moment.
And Terry rightfully speaks up and says, does a Miss Piggy joke. Because what the fuck, Eddie? It was literally like 10 minutes ago. It was the only thing that mattered in this episode was one character named Toad. It was the only thing. This entire episode is Eddie did not prepare a single fucking thing this week. That is what it feels like. It is fucking baffling. This is the episode where you could have established the hedges, which sound really cool, but instead you just made it sound like a Chinese marketplace where every NPC is as unfriendly as I would expect if I walked into a Chinese marketplace. Like, I don't know what the point of this episode was. Holy shit. Okay. So Eddie does finally realize he's fucked up and just randomly lets them wander into one of these, a character. Liam, you have the floor.
So they're walking around, and then a drug dealer is like, hey, I want to buy some crack?
Literally!
and then Asher obviously pulls out the coin and says, Valar Morghulis. And the guy's like, what the fuck is this? Who the fuck are you? What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, I see. This was the wrong key for the door.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Literally capturing the feeling of the scene one for one.
Oh god, it was so painful. You can just see the feeling of like, I'm gonna use the coin because I got no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. He gave it to me, I'm gonna try it. It didn't solve it instantly. Fuck!
What do I do? Like, the character's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, who the fuck are you? Why did he send you? And Asher's just like, well, I don't want to tell him I'm retarded and don't know where I am, so I'm just gonna decide on a whim that I'm gonna pretend I was sent by the Taskmaster to check on the bullshit here. Instead of being like, dude, I'm just looking for the Taskmaster. I need to get in contact with him for something, and I can't find him. He's just like, yeah, Looney Tunes time, let's fucking go. And Pike Wright's right there to be like, yeah, I'll threaten to murder him with you.
and then it shows Carrie punching his fists, and then it's like Carrie's in the background being menacing, and it does like this montage of Carrie doing different actions with his hands.
Yes. He's like, he keeps doing things, and he's scared of everything you're doing. As Carrie's doing, like, as a slide-by panoramic WebM is going by, of Carrie doing, like, moving his face up and down, doing a wave with his hands, cracking his neck, doing a little face. Like, I literally feel like I'm just losing my mind with them. Because you know, they rolled like a 17, 19 on intimidation, so like they're gods now. This man is on his knees, crying, going, "Oh, please don't fucking kill me! I'm just a lower rung! I just don't crack, please! I don't know anything!"
We kneel. Is that the Huntsman? Oh no!
It's literally, they're going, "Please don't fucking kill me!" And
I'm just a small little goblin. I don't know anything.
And they're like, "Okay, fine, just tell us some shit.
I only have 3 hit points, please."
And they're like, "Okay, fine, tell us some shit." And Eddie, the master GM mechanic, goes, "Well, I don't really know anything." Hey!
GM tip, if your players are running around for like 45 minutes and not sure what to do, you might want to just get them on the railroad.
Eddie!
Realism!
You literally you had this guy approach them, and then you have him know nothing important. You have him know nothing!
Like, if I was a player, I'd just pause there and be like, are you trolling me?
I'd ask us how to record it, and I'd ask him, "Eddie, do you have nothing for this week? We could do something else.
We could just go play Stripe. Like, come on, man."
And meanwhile, in the background of this clown scene, outside of a roster who's T-posing off to the side, a Phoenix gets a shit ton of text from Tope. And Tope's like, "Oh, hey, your buddy was looking for you, so I told him where you live. I doxed you and told him where you guys were going, that you were looking around for people in the alleyways, looking to go find who's selling crack and where the Taskmaster is and what's wrong with the city." And those gruff, scary guys who were your friends said, "Oh, cool, thanks, kid. Were they actually your friends?" And Phoenix is like, "Whoa, wow, I hate children." Meanwhile, the guy is like screaming and sitting himself on the ground. "Please! Okay! Wait a minute! I remember something! You know how Daff in the last scene said Grimm came from the north? Well, there's some guys up there too!" And they go, "Holy shit! There's wave guys up there? We should go see what they're doing." He's like, "I don't really know if that's the important part. You guys are on a mission to deal with the crime families. It's like the Grimm, but sure, please don't fucking kill me."
You're not a Huntsman, you deal with Grimm?
And then, as he's like breaking down, like about to give them this intel, I was so happy to get this joke, I ruined it. Before he's about to say this, a roster comes in and goes, "No, we're not like actually gonna kill you." And both of them are like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Oh god, here's where the information is!" And like Chad trying to save it because he's just like, "I don't know why Roster did this." Like, "Yeah, you made a right decision. She's the scariest one of all of us." And I have to fucking agree, Chad. She is. She's terrifying. So then this guy, literally word for word, gets up and sprints away, running, screaming. And they're like, "Yo, we should fucking leave." And Phoenix goes, "Yeah, we need to leave."
All I'm saying, folks, is I can't wait to see Casual Criminalist on Pike Right.
Casual Criminalist Pike Right? The Kuchinashi Cruelist.
Yeah.
So
I have to say though, I think you've been kind of downplaying us being Huntsmen, and even in training, you know, somebody should like literally, if we go, "Yeah, we're Huntsmen in training," they should go, "Oh, I have 3 hit points. You're gonna kill me."
Please, whatever you do, if you have to take if you have to take one of us to be a witcher, take my lesser daughter. She has a limp. I care about my older one more.
Viridian speaks up. Good.
What?
I could kill you if I wanted to.
Viridian wouldn't say that.
Bryn loves.
He would take the older daughter by force.
Bryn loves beating up defenseless people. Okay.
I don't remember the exact context because I'm bad with notes.
Yeah.
At one point during that scene, I had written down that Laura made a skill check And then Chris started talking, and then she's like, "Oh, I rolled a 16 right over him,
Literally,
as he was talking."
Yes.
And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! No one cares. You rolled a 16."
I rolled a 6. She doesn't like
He's been talking for like 5 seconds already. Why are you interrupting him?
She does it like twice. It's so fucking annoying.
Let me say something real quick. I'm so disappointed in myself. I don't remember when in the episode this is. There's a point where the editor made like kind of a mistake, and I'll point this out. There's a point. I don't know if you're referring to the same thing. But here's the thing.
Yes.
Eddie asked for a roll to something that only one person is clearly doing.
Yes.
Yet in the next shot, everyone's rolling for it. So something happened.
Something happened that's just cut out.
Something clearly happened that was just cut out.
Oh shit! Okay. Speaking of an editor thing, we all missed this, and this is one of my favorite points. I think Ben likes this one too.
Oh yes,
In the last episode, Chris talking about Team Smoke goes, "I hate those fuckers." But the editor, because apparently they can't say fuck on their own network or whatever.
No, I grab him by his fucking hair. But
I grab him by his stupid I grab him by his stupid fucking hair, and they censor over him by having him say faunus. So I grabbed him by his stupid faunus hair, and I was dying.
That is literally a joke.
I didn't know that was the joke. Oh my fucking!
That is literally a joke we would do.
I know. It's like. That is so fucking funny.
Awesome.
Can you get a British faunus to like dub over things?
Yeah. Ben,
yeah, talk.
Hey,
no,
Ben,
do a line.
Do it. What
Ben,
line?
Do Mr. Brit review. Say faunus right now. Everyone be quiet.
I grab him by his fucking. I'm sorry.
No,
faunus
just
hair.
No, just say faunus so you can edit over you saying a bad word earlier.
Thank you.
Faunus.
Thank you. I already got it.
Thank you. Expect that. Now the viewers will have heard that earlier in the episode, I'm sure. Blake, I'm sure you're going to edit out every swear. Make sure it's PC. Come on, man. Right.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, but that editing note is very interesting because I had remembered that, but I forgot to write down. It once again goes back to my theory of I really wonder like how long these are without editing. And I think this one must have been a tough one because you really do get this schizo sort of like exasperated feel from the players throughout all of it. So finally,
God, how fucking long were they probably walking around that fucking town looking for things?
That's why I imagine Chad's like doing crazy shit, like saying, "I'm just looking for suspicious looking cloaks, like on the ground, on people, like anything." Like he's so fucked at that point.
God damn.
So they decide they're gonna go north. They have to go past the town guard. They run into Daff again, and they kind of relay what they kind of got planned. And Daff is like, shit went north. I mentioned that earlier. You guys were supposed to just go north today, haha. Yeah, people are like go up there and it'll get lost, but you guys are allowed to. And Carrie autistically goes, "Psycho Pike number 2. Yeah, we know."
Thank you, Pike.
Awesome. Thank you, Pike. And Eddie, like a good GM does when players are still feeling out their character and you're too early in a game to consider wanting to kill someone or kick them because they're a gay character, go. Just ignore it. It just ignores that their character said that. Good. Correct? Unironically correct move for Eddie. If someone's being a dickhead in character, maybe they just aren't thinking. Maybe don't jump on their throat right away. Save that for down the line. And they proceed to go to the northern cliffs, I believe. Yeah, cliffside.
Can I take over the description of what happens in the end?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, man.
Because I didn't talk much in the last segment.
You got it.
Okay. So, the end of the episode is them going to the northern cliffs to check out what's going on. And as they're exploring the area, we finally come into a new map in our fucking favorite program. And we get to see the cliffs in all of their kind of shittiness. And guess what?
Get used to these fucking cliffs.
And guess fucking what? Some Grimm come out. Not just any Grimm. It's a couple of Barangles and some Sabers. But Sabers shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
What's this?
That's weird. Sabers shouldn't be here. What the fuck? That's really weird.
And
hey, Wait a minute. Remember that episode of Team Supernova that came out like a month or two before this, where there's a Sabir outside of the continent that's supposed to be in? Is Eddie literally stealing from me, bros? Schizo moment?
Schizo? I don't know.
Am I schizo or am I fucking right, guys?
That's
all right. Well, I gotta come clean. You kicked me from the game, and I became a freelance writer for Eddie.
Motherfucker! I knew it. This was an op to get you at.
It was that time. It was that time.
So it's that time.
Dude, no. Liam would never do that.
Well, and that is the end of episode 4. And as we get into the next episode, next time. Well, not now. Next time. Buckle up. Buckle the fuck up.
Combat!
Woo! Barracle combat!
Can I just say, I think these 2 episodes were, even with all their clusterfuckness, astronomically better than the first 2 episodes.
Well, things fucking happened.
No. I guess.
Well, okay, maybe not episode 4. Episode 3 was the best so far.
No, episode 4 was cringe.
Episode 3 was the best one so far.
I struggled to get through episode 3.
Really?
I struggled to get through episode 4.
I kept pausing episode 3 because I had so much fucking things to write down.
Yeah, I think there's something about episode 3 that when you're like thinking about it in a sense, I don't want to like sound like an elitist again, but like when you're thinking of it in the sense of like I'm trying to run a game and imagining this situation, like you get like such an aneurysm trying to put yourself in Eddie's shoes for how he organized the entire scene and how awkward it was. You're just like, Jesus Christ, dude, I have so much shit I want to fucking sling at you right now.
They spent like almost an hour in a scene that should take 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because Eddie is terrible. 20 minutes were based purely on him asking them to roll a dice, them rolling a dice, and then getting a reaction to rolling the dice.
It's fucking crazy.
I hate how Eddie uses fucking dice and skill rolls, and I think it's like the worst way you could fucking do it because it's just wasting time and breaking conversation.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a big skill roll guy myself, but he does it literally like in every moment where you could think it's not like a thing where you go, well, I mean, God, they could do that. Like you could walk upstairs. And he's like, nah, roll me balance, man.
Roll me balance, man.
Yeah, it's literally just like, what the you take out the meaning of them if you ask for them every fucking time you do anything.
Especially in a system like 5e or something, and a thing where they're basically trying to play D&D. I do like skill rolls. I don't mean to come across as ambivalent to them. My system has a much lighter, for RWBY, a much lighter use of them, but I'm still trying to integrate them more, because I think it can be fun to characterize. But in like 5th edition, where it's a valid opportunity to take at opportunities choices between like boosting skill rolls or something, or seeking out ways to boost them with a character class or something, is very cool to integrate skill rolls into things you can do and give yourself outside uses and utility. So yeah, like Ben says, I'm a fan of them, but I hate the way a lot of people kind of either crutch on like basic ones like perception or something, or just do these meaningless ones. It really ruins the point of even bothering with a system like 5th edition, which, joke over, we know they're playing 5th edition. We're at the wrap up. We can say it now again. It's really just like debilitating to like the authenticity of it. And we still have the problems where Chris is asking at one point to do a strength roll. He's like, athletics, right? And Eddie goes, no, strength. And I'm just like, why, Eddie? Why, buddy? Fucking why?
Okay. Any final thoughts before we close out?
There is, because we have a new segment of Supernova Safari, everyone. Would you like to hear the comments on the Rooster Teeth website for the 2 episodes?
Here,
allow me to take you on a sub-safari. Jet Black Arsenal says, and remember, these people all pay for this. I love Carrie. I really do. But he gave Pike the worst social traits of both Ruby and John. If I was playing the campaign, I would probably be annoyed. But since I'm just watching, it's kind of funny. Seamus.
Okay, never mind. Instantly based.
Instantly based. Seamus 1125. Pike is the SpongeBob of the group, laughing face.
Die.
Based. No, based.
GDGOJO. I'm not even bothering. The pop culture references were painfully forced. They really soured the first half of the episode. Based.
I'm sorry. Base department?
Base
What the fuck?
Are RWBY viewers actually based?
Cybertoy00. Honestly, the visuals could use some work. This is just talking heads.
Based?
Other side of the aisle. This episode is great. I loved all the lore we got. Eddie really is a good DM.
Not based.
Not based.
Why would they just lie?
Like what you like, folks. Don't take our criticism too hard.
Okay, here. What? Oh, folks, in the comments? Yeah, you deserve it. You're posting in a public place. Zellian. Also, this is great. I love Opal and Smoke. They are very entertaining. Plus, cool world building, and the entire cast is a delight. Seeing the fight steadily pick up the pace and such awkwardness. XD. Also, intriguing squirrely guy. Are they a faunus? Also, mostly just an idle thought, but I always HC. Headcanon. That the White Fang under Sienna had done a lot of fighting against criminal cartels that dealt in faunus exploitation or dealt drugs to them. Is there any chance we'll see Sienna's legitimately cool White Fang in this? There's a small portion of the RWBY fan base, sizable enough that they're loud, that think like Sienna Fang is still a character, or Sienna is still a character that anyone gave a shit about. Because she had a cool design, and Sienna Khan. I always call her Fang by accident. Sienna Khan, the lady.
She had a great design.
She's the high leader of the White Fang, and that Adam killed instantly.
Oh, yeah,
and this guy is literally being like, dude, I always imagined in my schizo brain that she had like fought criminal cartels and stopped people dealing drugs to faunus. So will we see that? Cool comment, man.
Yeah.
Awesome comment.
Yeah, no. You can look for that in the good series records of Remnant, where Sienna Khan will play a big part.
This man, the Shadow GG, just typed "Takos" with 3 exclamation points.
That's how I feel, right, Ben?
And of course,
Yeah.
and of course,
Yeah.
how did Warm Sudgebeck go unappreciated? With a comment by Chris Kokonos in response. I legitimately missed it during filming, but caught during my audio pass and lost it. My freaking mind, Lamau. Chris is the one editing these, I think, guys. Chris, if you're listening to this and you're actually the editor for these, I think you're the best member of the show by a fucking landslide.
If Chris is editing this, fucking fair play. He's a comedic mastermind.
Turnabout play.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
It really does.
Yeah.
Of
course, the only person they could convince to edit the show is someone who's on it.
I never thought about that, but that's actually really good, because then it's like, wow, good for you, Chris. You're not only the best player, but you're also making it so the shit is even, like, passable.
Does it not have credits?
I want to point out, it might. I want to point out that every episode, the comments basically get smaller and smaller. We're only at, like, 47 comments on this episode. Here, we'll go to episode 3, then immediately gets down to 26, or episode 4 gets to 26 comments. Has anybody made a... Sorry, this is... I don't want to go without giving this guy his fucking dues for coming up with this epic one. Chewy fan. Chewy_fan. Has anybody made a Team FAP joke yet? Because they're mostly jerks. XD! Slowpoke stare!
Are we done? Can we go
I'd like to not redo this segment on Supernova Safari ever again.
Yeah, I'm vetoing this. Noah, I hope to God in the future you are, like, picking these out beforehand, and if you are already, no.
I am picking these out beforehand. I know what we need to read.
Can't you just fucking save it for the episodes where we read random bullshit?
This is part of it. Get used to Supernova Safari, bro.
This should be segmented. The people don't come here for this.
That's why it's at the end.
Go! Fucking hurry it up!
Scotty, while you were
He
talking,
takes
I want
and
to
he
be polite.
takes, but he never gives.
Scotty Irv says, "This is gonna be fuel for some good D&D memes."
You look at them right here, folks. That's us.
Yeah.
That's us.
Some good D&D memes.
We're D&D memes brought to life.
Is it by Batman? This one I almost picked up just because of the fucking name. Batman of Vacuo. Rosa? Is it just me, or is Arostra the only one who's getting things done this episode?
What?
Responded by Zellion.
Friend?
This team
You
has
okay?
one brain cell between them, and she laid claim to it a long time ago, XD.
What? I'm just so confused. Like, Jesus Christ. Chad...
Respect women.
Yeah, never mind.
Respect women.
She's based.
Respect
Oh,
women
man.
now.
Respect women.
You will respect
now.
women now.
So,
But that is basically it. There are no more funny comments. So, everyone, we will wrap up here. For next episode of the Grimm Campaign Supernova Safari, we will be watching episode, if you are for some fucking reason, have a RWBY Plus subscription and want to watch along, I would not recommend it. But if you can acquire these episodes anywhere else, then go for it, man. But only if it's legal. Please, we will be watching episode 5 and episode 6 for next time. I believe we are good to wrap up, right? Any other comments? Any other things we want to get out now?
I think you read all the comments off already.
That's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, but no, I any last things to say, you guys, before I send us off?
I think we're good.
Chad is based.
Chad's based.
Yeah, no, I think he kind of took the momentum back and shot it.
Good.
So, is what you expect here, folks. It's okay. When we get into reading random bullshit, that's gonna be like the entire couple hours.
Can't wait for this.
Maybe we'll do one at one point. Before we actually finish the Grimm Campaign. So, if you like what we do here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know down below how you're feeling about the podcast, Supernova Safari. This will be coming out... This will be published on a Sunday, and I plan to publish...
Ostensibly.
Yeah. And I plan to publish these every Sunday, hopefully, and then Records of Remnant will come out on Friday. Like it has been. So
Nude on Pirates should still be coming out on Wednesdays. Haha.
yeah, so I hope you enjoy all that. If you like it, do what I just said 5 seconds ago. And yeah, Nude on Pirates that Noah just talked about, link down in the description below. I run that. Noah plays it. It's fun. Everyone else died. Still even more fun than before. So I hope you really enjoy everything we do. Please let us all know. And I am going to sign us off now. Till next time.
Bye, everyone.
Stay safe.
Grab yourself a seat and keep those hands in the vehicle at all times. You're about to be taken on a ride through the untamed wilds of internet role-playing. Observe them in their natural habitat.
Okay, please don't fight each other. You're too important to die.
Enjoy the splendor of their spurgery.
Okay, you know what? Fuck this. No.
And feast your eyes upon the questionable creations of internet randoms.
Actually, I've never DM'd before.
This is the Supernova Safari.